Wow, I'm a hot mess without Allie. Look at me. Just a nightmare. Welcome to Defense Diaries. I'm Bob Mata. This is day 5, part 5 of our rewatch of the Zach Adams trial. I'm going to go ahead and give myself like a C, maybe C minus on that cold open. So, I'm trying to do a lot of things back here and, what are you going to do? But hopefully you got the point. We went out of order yesterday, but it was the right move. It was in order to watch Terry Britt's testimony, which I thought was great. And was I not even there? That is awesome. Did I look like, was it a blank screen? I wasn't even on the screen. Did you hear it? Could you hear it at least? Oh, wow. Oh man, that is rich. That is rich. See, I'm just a hot mess without Allie. All right, here's what the cold open was. Beautiful 20-year-old nursing student murdered. A man sentenced to life based on one witness's testimony. That witness now admits that he completely made all of it up. We're watching the Zach Adams trial from 2017, and let's dig in and see how this thing went down. So it was something like that. I can't believe I wasn't even on. I'm gonna have to like clip the whole beginning. That's like it's just like a open with a screen, right? Oh wow, that's classy. Classy. There's tech wizardry for you right there. All right, so Allie has court, so my beautiful and brilliant co-host is working. She's actually in the car. I sent her an invite. She'll probably, yeah, thanks, Judge Jessica. Appreciate it. Ex post facto. We'll call that definitely wasn't a cold open. It was more like a lukewarm open. Since luckily it was only like 15 seconds of black screen. That's thanks to Allie. She's like, your cold opens are way too long. You got to get them down to like, 10, 15 seconds. So fortunately, that didn't last for like 2 minutes. So, all right, let's go. I want to pull this guy up. So we're going to go back and pick up where we're going back in order. The last witness that we had seen was Weber, the cop. And it looks like, let me pull it up here. Looks like a science guy. Looks like a dude who does science and talks about science things. So we'll see what's up with this guy here. All right. Y'all tell me in the chat how the sound is. Oh, and before I do that, I've been remiss. If you like the show, please subscribe. Do it now. Remember, because I think sometimes people just leave a live and they forget. Sub up now. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's get us out there because we're competing against the au pair trial, which actually is pretty interesting. Like I was like telling Allie, I'm like, we should do, like maybe some kind of update or recap of that thing. And I'm like, you know what, man? I don't know, dude. Sounds like a lot. Like I've just got to get a Garcia episode out. Like that's the only other thing I'm doing on this before we leave. So just found out Friday. There's supposed to be a snowstorm, a rare snowstorm in Arkansas, right when we're flying out, which, if you live down in the South, an inch or two of snow cripples a city. So it's like, and I had us leaving Saturday. Allie's like, oh, the prosecution's resting in the au pair trial, huh? Yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know. We're going to be doing a Spencer live. I'm going to set it probably while we're watching some of this trial because I want to get it out there. I'm thinking about starting it at 6. Allie's got to drive to Iowa again today, which is a couple-hour drive. So I really want her to be on it with me because there were a couple of bombshell motions filed today. Well, one bombshell motion and then a petition for a writ of cert to the Arkansas Supreme Court. They're desperately trying to get that Judge Elmore, off that case. So they filed a motion to recuse And then they also filed the writ up to the Supreme Court of Arkansas asking for a couple of things. One, for the Supreme Court to vacate her most recent order wherein Spencer really feels like they're... You all right, dude? Oh, Nook's back there dreaming. It always freaks me out. He makes really weird... Could you guys hear those noises? Poor guy. He's like having a nightmare because I haven't taken him a walk on 2 days because it's been so damn cold. It's not safe. Like zero. Sorry, right. So the writ is again to vacate the order she entered, limiting the amount of people into the courtroom, which she limited to 55 people, which includes attorneys, their staff, the media, observers, and family. I mean, that's insane. So that, and they're asking that the Supreme Court use its superintending power in order to remove her. So, because I don't want to get into the details because we're going to talk about it tonight about how recusal works in Arkansas, but we'll go through the motion. They also filed an accompanying brief with that. Allison will say, don't read the motion, just read the brief. It's all repeated. And of course, she's right. And then we'll go through the Supreme Court petition as well tonight. And it should be interesting. That thing is coming. Interestingly, though, I will say this. They did not file a motion to continue the trial, nor did they request a stay from the Arkansas Supreme Court. They want this thing going to trial. So we'll see what happens with it. But it's really, really interesting. It's really, really interesting. All right, you guys. So let's see who we got here. So again, part 5, Zach Adams' trial for the murder of Holly Bobo. And I did send both Katie and Dana invites. I haven't let them know yet. They may not, or, they might be working. So we'll see. But let me get this thing fired up.
Be seated, state your name and spell first and last.
My name is Lawrence James. Lawrence, Lawrence, James, James.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Governor. Good morning, Agent James.
Good morning.
You also go by Lauren, Loren.
I do.
Where do you work, Mr. James?
I'm employed with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
What do you do at the Bureau of Investigation?
I am a Special Agent Forensic Scientist Supervisor in the Memphis laboratory. I supervise forensic scientists as well as forensic technicians in the evidence receiving unit.
Agent James, how long have you worked with the TBI?
I've been employed with TBI since January of 1999, so a little over 18 and a half years.
Both as a special agent and as a forensic scientist?
That's right.
When did you become a supervisor of the forensic scientists?
June 2013.
Agent James, I want to ask you about your education and how you came to be a forensic.
Let me coach just a minute. Stipulate.
Yes, sir.
All right. Stipulate that he's an expert in the field of forensic science. You can go into whatever you want to, but I'm going to give them the opportunity to board here if they weren't going to stipulate.
I'll shorten it up.
Okay.
Thank you, Agent James, tell the jury, please, where you went to college.
I went to Union University.
And you graduated with what degree?
A Bachelor of Science degree in biology.
What year?
1997.
With honors?
Yes.
And have you worked in the area of science and law enforcement pretty much since that time?
Yeah, there were a couple of years when I was flirting with grad school, but started working at TBI when I was 25.
One of the areas that you're involved in is forensic biology and DNA.
That's right.
Tell the jury how you have experience in those areas.
Yeah, my background is in forensic biology or DNA testing. I trained for approximately a year and a half under the supervision of other qualified DNA analysts at TBI. During that time, I had hands-on experience with approximately 300 cases. I also spent a lot of time in the scientific literature. I had to prepare presentations for my peers to establish my grasp of the material. And at the end of my training, I had to complete a simulated case and defend my work in a simulated court environment. Also, during my training, I completed the TBI's Forensic Scientist School. This was basically, it was a 6 weeks course. They gave me an overview of all of the disciplines provided by TBI, specifically within the context of applying those at crime scene processing. And so when I completed that course,
Okay.
I was qualified.
This is exactly the shit that I was talking about. We don't have to watch, because here's the reality
By TBI.
about this guy's background. If you guys do, look him up, read his CV. So we're going to get past all this nonsense, get right to what he found out, what he was working on. That's the way to do it.
Road in Decatur County, Tennessee.
I was.
Please tell the jury what you did that day.
The laboratory supervisor at the time called me that morning. He told me that
Nailed it.
to get in contact with Brent Booth, one of our TBI agents. I called Brent. He told me that there had been a young lady who had been abducted, and that they had already done some searching of the scene, but they wanted specialized forensic assistance. And so I got 3 of my coworkers, and we drove to Decatur County.
What did you do when you arrived at 681 Swanhouse Road?
I was briefed by Terry Dykes. He gave me an overview of what he knew of what they believed had happened. And he told me that my team's job was specifically to focus on the garage area. That was where Holly Bobo's car was, and there was believed to be some probably important evidence in that area. He told me that her brother had observed Holly being led towards the woods behind her house with a man in camouflage. And Terry told me that they had already searched that area for footprints. And of course, my team, we still went back there and looked for anything. We were looking for blood. We were looking for shoe prints, anything like that. But we were primarily we were concerned with the area of the garage, and later did some work inside the house as well.
Were pictures taken of the surroundings, so to speak?
Yes, photography and video were both collected.
I probably would.
Yes.
I want him to look at it first. Agent James, I'm going to pass you what's been previously marked as exhibits 3 through 13, and that's if you can identify those.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me? I think
Yes,
you're
we
muted,
can.
babe.
We can hear you.
All
Would
right,
you turn
hopefully-
your camera off there, little one?
Well, it's like some weird angle on my dashboard. I don't know.
Why didn't you put it up on the thing that I have? On the windshield? You know you can rotate that.
I'm sure.
I'm
I
sure.
have no idea what I look like.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was kind of a weird angle you had it at. It's kind of looking up your nose a little bit.
I was like, the camera, I only had turned it on because you left me sitting back there and I was waving. So.
Yeah, I really shit the bed on the cold open. I
did.
tried.
Well, when I
didn't
turned on the
realize I
screen,
wasn't on stage. So I wasn't on
Yeah,
stage.
that's what I was wondering. When I turned it on YouTube to watch, I was like, what the fuck is happening? Why am I looking at the screen?
Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, you weren't there, dude. I'm like, oh. Luckily, it was only.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you know, it's tough back here. It's tough back here by yourself, you know? I
just have to say, driving long distances with this shoulder is annoying.
Yeah, I believe it.
I don't know
I
why,
believe it.
but
All right, so we got a dude from the TBI up here, and He looked at some stuff. I don't know if it's footprints. I don't know what it is.
I mean, at least he looked for footprints. At least he looked for footprints.
Yeah. So I ended up doing the cold opening after the regular opening. So, what are
That's
you
all
gonna
right. I'm sure it was great.
do? Yeah, I'm sure it was C+. Lukewarm, tepid at best. All right, let's go. All right, we can hear your car.
I'll mute myself.
Yeah, mute yourself. Well, what the hell is going on here?
Recognize those?
I do.
What are those?
These are photographs of the Bobo property.
I'll put these on your video. Agent James, I'll tell you that the jury's already seen these, but I want to go through them if I could. Let's keep that identified exhibit. Person exhibit 3.
So wait a second. They have 3 prosecutors working this case? Really? You have the guy who did the open, you have Nichols, and then this guy? Wow.
How many prosecutors does it take to change a light bulb? None of them can mark anything.
4? All right.
Shoot, we're getting good with these lights.
Oh my God. Wow. I'm a mess. I am a hot mess, bro. I don't know what the hell it did. I am a hot mess.
That's right. I literally just had to swerve across 3 lanes of.
Once I got the projector turned on.
I'm not
I almost
talking.
missed my exit. I
What?
almost missed my. Yeah, I almost missed my exit.
Wow.
All right, I'm muting you again. Sorry.
Sounds like we're both hot messes.
I'm in here.
What is that?
That's a photograph of the Bobo home taken from approximately the road leading up the driveway.
Next exhibit, please. What's that?
It's a photograph of the front door, the entrance to the Bobo home.
These are as they look on April 13, 2011.
Yes.
Next, please. What's that, Agent James?
This is a photograph taken from behind the house on roughly the north end, taken from a bird's eye view, looking down at the garage floor. You can see 2 steps up at the top of the frame that are steps leading between the back door of the residence and the garage. And basically, you can also see the Mustang over in the lower left-hand corner. It's our car. So these were presumed blood drops, later confirmed to be blood.
I want to pass you forward 12 pictures and ask if you can identify them as well. I'm sorry. The next one, please. Let me, before you look at that, Agent James, this is another, what is this in exhibit 20?
This is another photograph taken from the south looking north. The steps leading up to the back door are at the far end of the frame. Obviously, Holly Bobo's vehicles in the frame. And it basically shows, at least it gives an idea of the proximity of various where blood evidence was located at the scene.
Okay.
You can see. You have a laser pointer.
I do.
So basically, these approximately right here is where the blood drops are, end on the south end of that carport area. And there was blood droplets going. There was a fairly large pool right here, and there was some up on the step as well. And so this photograph just kind of gives an area, a representation of the area where the blood was contained.
Thank you, sir. Let's return to those additional pictures.
So for anybody, DB or K Riggs, if you're in here, I didn't see if K Riggs is in here now. Do you know? So you saw in that picture, let me bloop it back. I just want
The area where the blood was contained.
So is the carport leading right into the house? Because that looks like tiled floor to me there. You can see obviously a dog bowl. water or food. Is that like the house, or is that? I'm curious. Does anybody know what that, like, where that carport led into? I mean, because there's no door. And then you've got what looks to be some kind of tiled floor, like it's the kitchen or some shit. That would be weird, right? It leads to the back porch. Okay. That would make more sense. That would make more sense. You have something, babe? I heard you turn your mic on. I can hear the
I was
soothing
going to
sounds
say
of the
something,
road.
but somebody answered. So, all right. I'm turning myself back off.
All right.
Thanks, sir. Let's return to those additional pictures. You recognize those, Agent James?
I do.
What are those generally?
These are photographs that were taken in the carport area.
I'm saying that's supposed to be admitted into evidence as separately numbered exhibits as we have done with the other pictures. 12.
All right, it'd be 40 through 51.
And you're not to share those with the defense as well.
Babe, I sent you a text. Look at your phone.
51.
Yes, sir.
I publish, Ron. I publish those
You
exhibits.
may.
Agent James, we're now looking at exhibit 40. Can you tell us what we see here?
This is a photograph of Holly Bobo's vehicle as it was when I arrived on the scene.
And again, you took pictures of a number of areas of the house and the outside and what you believe to be the crime scene.
That's right.
Next, please. Let's turn that. This is exhibit 41. Agent James, what do you see here?
This is a photograph again of Holly's car parked in the carport, and basically just getting kind of a proximity of how close it was to the walls.
Are you interested in anything about the surface of the carport?
Well, yeah, definitely. We were the carport had a good bit of dirt that had blown in, and so it was potentially a good surface for shoe prints, and that was definitely something that we wanted to be mindful of. And also too, just the fact that it's close to the walls. You know, when you're working crime scenes, you work with what you've got. You make intuitive decisions. There was also definitely an aspect that as close as that vehicle was to the walls, you know, someone may have brushed up against the vehicle or brushed up against the walls. Maybe left a handprint or, put their hand on the car. And I mean, obviously the fact that blood is there indicates there was probably some sort of struggle. And so all of that kind of factors into our decision making is when we're looking for potential evidence.
Excellent. What was it here?
This is a photograph of Holly's car taken from the far side of the carport or garage area.
Next, please. This one, sir.
That's a photograph taken from the front driver's side corner of the bumper. It was relevant because there was a good amount of dust on the car. I mean, the car had some dirt on it, and which was good for us because we could see where contact had been made to it. And so there was an area on that corner where the dust had been brushed off, where something that had obviously made contact with it. And so hopefully, it could have been anything. It could have been a the side of someone's leg, but it could have been a hand as well that knocked that dust off. And so that ended up being, I ended up taking a swabbing of it in the hopes that someone had put their hand down on it or something like that.
Next, please. And James, this is exhibit 44. What did you see here?
This is a photograph that was taken of a partial shoe print that we located in the garage. It's got a ruler in it because the idea is that before we try to lift shoe prints, we try to photograph, with high quality, high resolution camera for the purposes of comparing if we have any shoes that become submitted later, so we can make a comparison whether to eliminate or include as a possible source of that shoe print.
The fact that there is a ruler there trying to get a more specific or precise measurement.
That's right. Yeah, it's the rulers in there is placed in the photograph so that there can be a one-to-one comparison if you actually get a shoe submitted at a later point. I said we earlier. I'm referring. We have a specific unit in our national laboratory that specializes in micro-analysis and items such as shoe tracks or tire tracks.
Was this picture taken with the camera on a tripod?
Yes, it is.
Explain. What do we see here in exhibit 45?
This is another some sort of print that I thought might have been a shoe. We saw this pattern. It was kind of like a crosshatch pattern, and I saw that pattern a couple of places on the garage floor.
You're showing
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Say that again.
Yeah, so I believed that this was a shoe track that I observed on the garage floor, and this was, I believe we saw this in a couple of locations, and so it's just an attempt to photograph it, hopefully obtain something of for comparison purposes.
Do you have any observations, conclusions here about the condition of the floor?
Well, just that the floor of the garage was quite dirty, for better or worse.
Yes, sir. This is exhibit 40, I can't say 46? 46. Please tell the jury what you see here.
Again, this is a photograph of a possible shoe track.
Does it look like pebbles or rocks or stones on the floor?
Yeah, you can see dirt. I mean, obviously that track appears to be in dust.
Next, please. This is exhibit 47. Tell the jury what you saw here.
Again, this is a photograph, and I'll be honest with you. Just looking at the photograph, I'm not sure if there was any part of a shoe print there. It definitely looks like something went through that dirt or dust that disturbed what was there. But ultimately, just looking at the photograph, I couldn't tell you right now if I think that's a shoe track or not. I think it's ultimately just documentation that somebody was moving through there was movement in and out of the garage.
Again, what conclusions do you have about the condition of the floor?
And there were areas where there was a lot of dirt.
Next, please. This may be a little bit similar to what you saw earlier in one of the other exhibits. This is exhibit 48. What is that? What do we see here?
So again, this is a slightly zoomed in photograph of what I showed you earlier. You can't see the stairs very well anymore, but it's basically a photograph that contains most of the blood evidence that I observed around the vehicle.
That's the front of the car.
Yes, this is the front fender on the left
Where are the steps?
of the bumper. I mean,
Where are the steps?
the steps are that concrete is the bottom, and I guess that's the first step right there.
Okay. Next one. Agent James, this is exhibit 49, and there's some Post-it notes on there. Are those yours?
I did add those Post-it notes.
They weren't in the original picture.
No.
What was in the original picture?
So this is a photograph taken slightly from above. This is the step right here. First step. Holly Bobo's car is right here. It's the bumper, and this is the wall of the house. And so basically, I was trying to give an overhead shot again of the blood evidence that I observed at the scene.
This is looking down on the other side of the car, still in the front, kind of on top of the step.
Yes. It's a little bit awkward. It's definitely not parallel with the ground, but I was doing the best I could standing on the stairs.
And those groupings have some importance with respect to your scientific testing later, or not.
That's right.
I'll come back to those. Let's see the next one. Let's see the next one. Says exhibit 50. Again, those are post-it notes you put on there.
That's right.
Tell the jury what this view is.
So this is the stair going up to the back porch. The wall would be on this side of the photograph. The vehicle would be on the left side of the photograph. This is a zoomed in area. There was a pool of reddish brown stain that was close, within a couple of inches or so of the stair, a few inches of the stair. And there are also some other blood stains in this view. This one it caught my eye, and I can explain that later.
Well, let's go to the next exhibit.
Okay.
That's the one that caught your eye?
It did.
You're looking at exhibit 51 here?
That's right.
What is that? That's again your post-it note.
Yeah, that's ended up being reported out in my report as Exhibit 1E. Basically, it's a blood stain that it appeared different from a lot of the other stains. Many of the blood stains appeared to be drops that were on the floor of the garage. This one looked like a smear. There were also, I don't know how well you can see it. This photograph is pretty, focus isn't the best, but there was one spot down here, and then this kind of an extended. It's almost like that. The stain together looked like an exclamation point. But the thing that stood out to me was that there were like striations or lines that were observed. They looked as if some sort of pattern had been impressed on that stain. I don't know. I call it ridge detail because I've got that terminology in my head from latent print examination, but ultimately it looks to me like striations from fabric, like denim or I don't know. I think my khaki pants that I wear to work most days tend to have striations in them that are real subtle, but they look like that.
Striations is a big word. That's kind of like pattern.
Yeah. Just parallel lines.
We'll come back to the blood in just a moment. I'm going to ask you two more. I'm going to ask you a question about two more photos. My standing approval to approach.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll show you two more pictures.
Yes.
What are those?
These are photographs that were taken of Holly Bobo's car.
Do you recall if these were taken the next day?
They were taken the next day.
I'll say would ask that these be admitted into evidence as the next two exhibits.
52 and 53.
I thought it was your own.
You bet.
This is exhibit 52, Agent James. That's the same Mustang
It is.
in the garage, carport the next day.
It is.
It was in the same spot.
Yes.
Yeah, what are you doing here? What were you trying to do?
So I've been called back to the scene around involving a possible what appeared to be a latent print on the hood. And so this is a photograph of the front passenger side fender near, the area of where the hood kind of curves down onto the side of the vehicle. And I think the next photograph will explain it.
Next week.
It'll be kind of self-explanatory. So there were.
Is this the hood?
This is the hood. You can see the wheel well down here. And this line right here is the hood. And there was a smear area right here that you can see. It's not small. It's large. And likewise here, you can see where the dust kind of, like on this side, the dust was totally wiped off. On this side, it was just disturbed a little bit. And there's a smear in there, and it very much looked to be like a palm size smear. There was even ridge detail that was observable in it.
I guess to say it the easy way, you responded to the scene that day, and the next day took pictures, took samples, and did crime scene investigation. And you also acted as a scientist after that, correct?
That's right.
We'll go back up exhibit 49. Exhibit 49 has these post-it notes that May not be entirely clear, but when the jury gets it in the jury room, they'll see. Tell them what will they see.
Okay. So, obviously blood evidence can be a valuable tool, in terms of, examining crime scenes and examining evidence. There was a good amount of blood here at the scene. My approach generally, I'm speaking for myself and most of the people that I work with, we don't process every blood drop we see. We don't swab them individually. I might have had 50 or 60 blood drops here. My approach, number one, I'll just give you my mindset. The importance or the significance of blood evidence is to establish who was at a crime scene, who was bleeding at a crime scene. Obviously, if you've got a victim of a violent crime, a reasonable assumption is your victim is very possibly going to be bleeding at the scene. That's the case in the vast majority of the crime scenes I respond to. At the same time, my goal is to seek to put someone else, a possible perpetrator, at a scene using DNA evidence. And so my approach here was to group these blood droplets, the blood stains, into manageable group sizes that would allow me to cover most of what is represented here, to test most of it, and at the same time, not spend the next 6 months analyzing blood drops on the garage floor. So what I did was group these into 5 different areas and collect a representative sampling of blood droplets from those areas. I told you earlier about the shape that looked like an exclamation point. It looked like something had been pressed into it and left a striation sort of pattern in it. I sampled that one separately just because I thought it was interesting. My feeling was either somebody knelt down onto a blood drop and smeared it a little bit, or it was already on somebody's clothing and they knelt down and transferred it onto the ground. Either way, it was a different stain than most of the drops that I observed.
Now, which one is that?
So you can't see it very well in this photograph, but it's roughly in this area, right? Actually, I can't see it. It's right there.
Is that 1E?
That's it. That's 1E. Yeah. I called it swab number 5 in my original notes. And when it got submitted to the laboratory, it became exhibit E. And I believe my report says area with ridge detail. It's a swab from the floor of the garage. It says area of ridge detail. There was another area. The first stain that I collected was roughly this area right here that encompassed this large pool right here. I mean, that was a fist size approximately blood stain. So not just a couple of drops.
That's
But
1A.
That's 1A. And I called it a large stain on my report just to clarify. There was another grouping. The second swabbing that I took was a grouping of what appeared to be blood drops that were over close to the wall. Again, thinking maybe if 2 people are scuffling in this area, maybe if both of them are bleeding or whatever, maybe one person's blood might be over here versus right here. And so I took a sample right here that became exhibit 1B in my report. It's just swabs from floor of garage near wall. The third grouping was this far. This is the grouping that's the furthest south. It roughly lines up with about the middle of the hood. I mean, that license plate on the front of her vehicle is a pretty good estimate of where those fell in the scheme of that area. And so I called that swabbing ended up being exhibit 1C, swab from floor of garage, south end of the pattern. And then the fourth stain, there was a grouping that was kind of in this middle area, and you can't see it very well. I was kind of disappointed how the photographs came out, but there was a stain up here on the step as well, a good sized stain. And so I swabbed that area along with those. So that was my fourth grouping, and I called that swab from floor of garage, stairs.
So let me see if I can summarize. This area is the area that had the plaque with number 1 on it.
Right.
You took 5 different swabs, 1A, B, C, D, and E.
That's right.
Tell the jury what it means to be taking a swab.
Well, we use cotton swabs. They're glorified Q-tips on a wooden stick. Swab on one end. Just put some sterilized water on it to wet it, and then swab the surface of the area. In this case, blood droplets.
Pass you a. Turn the lights back on.
Okay.
pass you a bigger bag. If you can identify this.
We see him, dude.
These two.
You want me to open them? Yeah, that'd be great. I do recognize the package.
What is it?
This bag contains the swab samples I collected from the floor of the garage.
Those are the samples you collected and then ultimately tested
That's right.
in the same condition you took them in.
That's right.
Are those samples?
Yes, they are in here.
That's those five.
Yes.
I'm going to say what has the bag and its contents be marked and then evidence is the next exhibit.
Exhibit 54.
Agent James, let me go ahead and get that marked and then we'll proceed. Your Honor, may Agent James just hold this up in post. Sure.
Sorry.
Told you people, that's all. Just pull them out and show them the picture.
It'll be all right. So basically, what I did was I've broken the sticks off of them, but every one of these contains a pair of swabs and some of them still have a good bit of sample left, and some of them are, I believe they're mostly consumed on one of them or something like that. But basically, every one of these little plastic petri dishes contains a pair of swabs, and most of them have some reddish brown stain on them.
So you've been to the house, you're taking pictures, you obtained these swabs, and you obtained the panties, which are exhibit 26, correct?
That's right.
What was the purpose for getting all that?
So the panties specifically, or the other things, or
Well, all of them. Let me ask you this. What were you ultimately trying to get to?
well, ultimately, like I said earlier, we were wanting to hopefully establish a link with a suspect, whether through shoe prints or through blood drops, grazing against the bumper of a car, things of that nature.
You're ultimately going to do a DNA analysis?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell the jury what DNA is.
DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It's a chemical that's present in most cells in our body. Basically, it's a chemical blueprint for everything that goes on in our body, from how we process the food we eat to much substance to come into our life in term. Show you the 13 profiles that I've generated from reference samples from individuals, and we've had a representative of what's done.
And that's to be able to see if the profile matches someone or doesn't match someone, correct?
That's right.
That can be a suspect or
It's the
victim.
code
That's right.
designed by our
It may also be a
creator.
mixture, so we may have multiple people present in a profile.
And TBI's protocols.
Huh?
It's the
Couldn't hear.
code designed by our creators.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm convinced of it, so
There you go. There you go.
For this,
Yes,
go solid in this instance.
yes.
Let me pass forward to you, document and execute. Recognize it.
This is a copy of the report I generated.
You know what I'm saying? That's to be admitted into evidence as the next number.
I see a copy of that just signed out.
See you, Iceman. Drive safe, man.
This is the report you prepared
Yes, sir.
after the application number on it. The same as on the swap you took earlier.
Yes.
So you have these 5 swabs. You have a set of this pair of underwear. I want to switch for a second and talk about the underwear. What did you do with the underwear?
The underwear was collected in lieu of, because I didn't have a reference standard from Holly Bobo. Generally,
Let me interrupt. What's a reference sample?
yeah, reference standard is a sample that's collected from a person of interest in a case. And generally, that's done by a cheek swab. It's quick, easy, but that's assuming you've got the person of interest available to collect a sample from.
So if I was a person of interest, what would you do to get a reference sample?
Well, law enforcement would, we actually provide kits they're called buccal swab kits. And it's just a pair of swabs, and they would ask you to open your mouth, and they would swab the inside of your cheek and then package that up and send it to me.
It's one of those fancy Q-tip type things.
Yes.
That's a reference sample.
Yes. Historically, they've also collected blood for that, but the cheek swabs are just less invasive and don't require a nurse. And so that's where most of law enforcement has transitioned at this point.
At this point, you didn't have any reference.
That's right. Yeah, both. I use them interchangeably. Standard is kind of the word that implies this is an item of evidence that's specifically collected for generating a profile as a reference.
You didn't have that here, but you did have Holly's underwear.
That's right. Yeah. So obviously Holly was missing. We didn't know. Ultimately, I had to find something personal of hers that would generate that I could obtain a profile from that would reasonably attribute to her. I looked at toothbrushes, and from what I remember, there were several toothbrushes in there. I believe it was a shared bathroom, and the investigator was out. Ultimately, she was the only young lady living in the house as far as and using that bathroom. And so just from many years of experience with underwear, I expected to be able to get a profile out of it, and I did.
What did you do to get that profile?
I just took a cutting of the lining and ran it through the same DNA process that I did with the swabs.
That same 4-step process?
That's right.
And after you took the cutting, you actually cut a piece of fabric out
Yes.
and then ran your tests on it.
Yes.
And you did produce a profile.
I did.
Now, with respect to the blood, there were 5 different samples. Each of those tested, they were in fact blood, correct?
That's right.
Let's talk about 1A. We've got back up on the screen. We don't have to start in the lights, but 1A there at the bottom left.
That's right.
Okay. Tell us what you did with respect to that. Did you run that through the process, the DNA process too?
Yeah, I generated a DNA profile from that sample.
And what was your conclusion to reach the degree of medical concern, scientific concern?
The profile that I obtained was partial. In other words, there was indication that there was, and I'll just go on and tell you what my suspicion is, but dirt is known to be, and it is known to be something that interferes with the DNA, specifically the amplification process. And so it became an issue on several of these samples. But ultimately, I got a partial profile, and that profile matched the profile that I obtained from the Bobo, the underwear that I assumed to be Holly Bobo's.
And her mother identified what you don't know that. It's exhibit 26 that you looked at earlier.
Okay.
So you have a profile, partial.
All right, so looks like we had a baker raid. The Bakerinos have invaded, and we love to have you here. If you guys are not familiar with this trial, what we're doing is interesting. It's a rewatch of a 2017 case that is revolving around a 2011 murder of a beautiful 20-year-old nursing student named Holly Bobo, who was abducted from a carport of her own home. Her brother was inside the house, who I think was 25 at the time. He's a grown man. He hears screaming. He initially looks out the window, sees a man in camouflage, thinks
No,
initially
wait. Did he say he heard fighting and the neighbor heard screaming, or he also heard screaming?
he hears yelling. He called it yelling.
Okay.
So he hears yelling, looks out the window, sees a guy in camouflage, thinks that it's Holly and her boyfriend, Drew. Mom calls, Karen Bobo calls, because she received a phone call from the neighbor that Allie was just talking about, saying, my son heard screaming coming from your property. Karen, after she gets that call, calls the brother, Clint, and says, Clint's like, oh yeah, I think Holly's out there with Drew. Karen had gotten information that the boyfriend Drew was at the grandmother's property turkey hunting. So she knew it wasn't Drew. She's screaming at Clint, it's not Drew. Go get a gun and shoot whoever it is. Clint says, I'm not getting a gun. And, you know, he starts to put his shoes on, puts a jacket on. In the meantime, Holly is dragged through the woods by her abductor and goes missing. And they don't find her remains for 3 years. They don't solve the case for 3 years. They finally make an arrest.
Wait, I'd say yeah. We don't know if we still don't know if they solved the case.
Well, we don't think they solved the case. Well, we think they solved it, but we think they charged the wrong person. That's the way I feel about it. So, at any rate, this case was tried finally, I think in 2017. That's right, guys? 2017 trial. Zach Adams, who was the only defendant out of 4 people that were charged in the crime, is the only one who went to trial. And he was convicted at trial. And his conviction was based not on forensic evidence. They had no forensic evidence linking Zach Adams, his brother Dylan Adams, or Jason Autry, who was a star witness who had flipped and turned state's evidence under threat of being tried under the death penalty, decides to become the material star witness for the state. He is literally what got Zach Adams convicted. Subsequently, that same guy has recanted completely and said that he made the entire story up, came clean as to everything. He had access to all of the discovery for 18 months. And we haven't gotten to his testimony yet, but his testimony, you know, the guy had the story nailed, you know, and he just, like, he came off as very convincing to the jury in terms of what went down that day. And to the judge, who likes to watch football on his iPad during the trial. That's his favorite pastime instead of working. So that's what we're doing. So we are in part 5 of this trial. So recently, the post-conviction hearing, a full evidentiary hearing, was conducted that spanned multiple days over a series of months. And Allie and I dug into the case at that point. And after watching that, I was convinced that Zach Adams is, in fact, an innocent man who's been convicted and sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison. And as you know,
and then only to be more convinced after digging into the Trial and Error podcast.
Yes, we want everybody to check that out. If you want to get caught up on this case is crazy. It's a crazy, crazy case. But yeah, the Trial and Error podcast is awesome. They've done their boots on the ground. They do what we do. They dig in. They talk to people. They're out there in these streets. They've actually interviewed Jason Autry. He actually did his recantation with Katie, Dr. Katie Spirko, who was, interviewing him. She's also spoken with many of the players in this case. And there is a very, very likely suspect in this case named Terry Britt, who is a man who was a convicted R-er, an SA'er, and stalker that was gave the wackest alibi you're ever going to want to hear. So there's a lot of moving parts on it, but it's very interesting, and hopefully you'll hang and check it out with us.
Right, we're here now from one of the officers on scene.
Yeah, we always put the
Forensic guy.
scroll here. If you're new to the channel, we always put the scroll at the bottom as to what we're watching, what part of the case we're watching, and who's on the stand.
And I'm
Right.
Alicata,
That's right.
behind the
You got
scenes,
Parson.
driving.
There she is.
Sorry.
She's that weird little circle with that person in
I'm
it.
driving. So
I know,
I'll
but
mute my car sounds now. I was
it's
letting
time
him
for
know
you
I'm
to put
driving.
like an actual picture up instead of that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a good one first.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Profile of 1A. Right.
That's right.
It's fair to say just because you see what you think is blood, but test it presumptively to be blood, you don't necessarily get a complete DNA profile from it in certain instances, correct?
Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, like it's my feeling and opinion that the dirt interfered on this one.
You did get a profile from this underwear,
Yes,
and that's based on using these 13 specific markers on DNA.
that's right.
All right, so we talked about 1A. 1B, which is, point that out to the jury again.
1B is the area that's up close to the wall up here.
What was your result of testing on 1B?
So the profile that I've got there, I actually ran that sample 3 times. The first time I got data that was below my reporting limit.
And I tell the jury what that means. Data below your reporting limit.
Yeah, so the DNA profiles that I obtained, there's kind of like, we set a point. This is hard to explain, but I would, if I could make an analogy, I would liken it to radio signal for those of us who use radio, where if you've got a little bit of signal, sometimes you can, sometimes if you're rolling through the stations, you'll hear some stuff, and you can pick up enough to know that it's a talk show or it's music or this or that, but you can't really hear lyrics. That's kind of, there's a range where my instrumentation is similar to where we acknowledge, yeah, that is human genetic data that's being generated. But when you start getting down in these low levels of sample, you get interference, you get data that drops out. Ultimately, what I would say is that data is, we've decided through our own internal studies that below a certain point, that data is questionable. It starts to get gray. It's a gray area where we're hesitant to use it. We certainly won't use it for inclusions. We might use it to exclude people if that's the case. But this sample fell in that range where it was just low level. Again, my suspicion is the dirt was interfering. And ultimately I ran it 3 times. 2 of the times I got data below the point where my laboratory allows me to interpret it. And one of the 3 times my DNA ended up in it, which I think has happened twice in 18 years. So
C's or tier or something?
I don't know. There was a period we wear masks these days because we've learned the hard way that if you talk over something, you're liable to show up on a piece of evidence or on an evidence profile. But my DNA showed up on one of those 3 examinations.
Let's go to 1C. Did the same sort of tests on it?
That's right, same test.
What were your results for Greek scientific certainty?
The profile that I've got was a complete profile, and it matched the profile that I got from Holly Bobo's underwear.
You were able to get a complete profile that matched all those important markers.
Yes,
They gave you the result on all those markers.
right.
And it matched the profile that you obtained from Holly's underwear.
Yes.
Can you use the laser and show us which that was? Which the
1C.
see?
C was the grouping that's on the far south end.
What about 1D? Same sort of analysis?
Yes. 1D is the area on the step and immediately below it, kind of in the middle between the wall grouping and this large pool grouping.
What was your conclusion of Greek scientific certainty?
Again, I got a partial profile from that area, and it matched the profile from Holly Bobo's underwear.
And lastly, 1E, one that had those striations, you call them.
That's right. The one that kind of resembled an exclamation point that was right in the center, roughly. But yeah, I wasn't able to generate a DNA profile that that met my reporting limit.
And again, that's because of, what do you think?
Again, just, and I will say there wasn't as much sample on, I mean, it wasn't like droplets, like some of the other 4 samples. I still would expect to get a DNA profile from it. And I believe, it's my opinion, that the dirt played a factor in that.
The dust and those stones and the things we saw on the cardboard floor.
Yes.
Have you experienced that? Have you experienced that through your work at TBI on other cases?
Yeah, it's not uncommon. I mean, there are several things that we know of that we encounter on a regular basis. Leather gives us problems. Blue jean dye, the blue dye in denim gives us problems. Ultimately, and I guess one of the frustrating things is that, I mean, we've developed tools to cope with these issues that arise since then, but that's where I was in 2011. And so I didn't go back and retest.
So with respect to 1C, you said the DNA profile matched the profile from everywhere.
That's right.
What is the probability of an unrelated individual having the same DNA?
Which exhibit are we on again?
1C.
1C. So the probability of obtaining that profile, if I were to go out and randomly select out of the population, I would expect to find that profile approximately once in 812 trillion, 300 billion individuals from the Caucasian population. I would expect to find that profile approximately once in 1 quintillion, 260 quadrillion individuals in the African American population. In the Southeastern Hispanic population, I would expect to find it approximately once in 3 quadrillion, 595 trillion individuals. And in the Southwest Hispanic population, I would expect to find that profile approximately once in 62 quadrillion, 660 trillion individuals. Point. Yeah, it is a lot.
It exceeds your population, does it not?
Yeah, that's how we report it, just to summarize it concisely.
That's just my job.
You may.
That's what you're trying to
Why don't you kill that light unless you're going to use it? All right. All right, cross-examination.
Is it previously been marked or not?
It has not previously been marked, so we go ahead and identify it.
You need gloves?
I hope so. I'm not, I believe so.
There's so many reports.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
At one, it's a microanalysis report, but it's dated 5/25/11. It's not a report you did, but this report's telling me, I believe you collected this bag.
Okay.
Is that your writing on there?
It is my writing.
Okay, because I couldn't identify the signature, it's a little scratchy.
Yeah,
Okay,
Did we have scissors earlier?
I have them.
Okay.
can you go ahead and open that bag for me? With your hand, I think there's a pair of shoes in there.
I believe there may be.
There might be other clothing, but I was interested in the shoes.
Room. And I don't remember if I was privy to that.
Clothes that he was wearing that.
We collected out of his room.
Okay. These clothes were collected from Holly Bobo, weren't they?
They were collected out of his room.
Okay. And were they the clothes that he was wearing that morning?
I'm not sure if I was privy to that information or not. We just found clothing in his room. And I don't remember.
Clearly, you didn't take all the clothing in his room.
Definitely not.
I mean, these, as far as you remember, the only clothes that were collected that day.
Right.
And you would have collected clothes that would have been relevant to the investigation.
Sure.
not just any clothes that were laying around.
Right. I remember looking through his clothing for bloodstained items.
Okay.
That's one of the waiters were collected.
Sure. In case somebody's changed before you got there and they had blood on their clothes.
Right.
And these shoes, can you go ahead and open the two shoes? They're a left and a right truck, weren't they?
I believe so. Actually, there are two pairs. So I've got, this is Exhibit 5E, and these are Crocs.
Okay.
They don't look like it on the top, but they're Crocs.
Okay. The 5E was the one that I was interested in anyway.
Okay.
And tell me, can you look at them again? Tell me what size do they say they are? The Crocs have a size on them.
9.
9? Okay. It's not necessary we open that then.
Okay.
So Your Honor, at this time I ask that we put these into evidence. Since they're all packaged in one bag, I don't know if we need to put the whole thing in. Just put the whole bag in. Okay.
Okay. The entire bag and contents will be moved into evidence exhibit 56.
Mr. James, did you do any of the crime scene investigation when the state of Tennessee searched Terry Britt's home?
I did.
Okay, and you're familiar with that also, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have your reports with you from that search?
I do.
Okay. So what's the first date on one of those reports?
I'm not sure if I'm, okay, because I'm going to get confused.
I don't go by the first date. What's the first date you think of?
First-
Reports from the same day?
I'm a little bit lost because we weren't generating reports on crime scene responses at that. We weren't issuing violent crime response team reports in 2011 or 2012. And so
Okay.
I may have done work in the laboratory on stuff that was collected, and it's going to be in a different location from my actual violent crime response notes.
Okay. So are you saying you didn't bring it with you or?
I think I've got it, but I've got a lot of paperwork that I'm going to need some direction.
Me too. Okay. Well, we'll just start with the search of Terry Britt's house. You remember that this is a home that's owned by Janet and Terry Britt? Yes?
Okay, I remember the property.
And they're a husband and wife. Do you
Okay,
and they live there and close to the Bobo residence. Do you remember that part?
well, I no, because I got there from an airport. I drove from an airport to the residence, and I
Okay.
couldn't get there again. But
Okay. So when you searched their home, some of the things that you searched there were cars. Do you remember that you searched, there were 5 cars there?
what I remember is that we had numerous teams and numerous agencies involved in that, and my entire day was spent in one house.
Okay,
I don't believe I ever looked at vehicles.
vehicles. Okay. Which part then did you participate in?
The residence.
Okay, and there were multiple buildings there. Do you remember that there were multiple buildings and then a big,
I believe there was like a semi-trailer or a
Yes,
storage
semi-trailer.
container or some a
There was
shipping container may have been out
there
there.
was a semi-truck trailer that was a refrigerator trailer, had very thick walls. Do you remember that part?
Yes, and I didn't go into it.
Okay. And then there was like a mobile home trailer that had a lot of items stored in it. Did you go in there?
This is not the residence.
Not the residence, no.
I don't believe it. I may have stepped in there, but I really don't remember much about it.
So you did go in the residence.
Yes.
And do you remember finding some cell phones that were hidden in the residence in the bathroom under some personal hygiene products?
I'm sorry, I'm refreshing off my notes.
It's no problem. Take your time.
I have in my notes that there were 3 cell phones that were collected, but they weren't collected by forensic personnel,
Okay.
or at least when I say forensic personnel, I mean my team, my coworkers.
And
There was one TBI person, I believe, from Nashville, and there was an FBI employee who was involved in those.
and there were some blonde hairs collected there. Were those collected by the forensic team?
I don't remember. I do have in my notes that there was a possible hair collected.
Okay. And where, in your notes, where was that particular hair collected from? Can I ask you right now, what is it that you're looking at?
I'm reading my narrative that contains an overview of.
I guess, Your Honor, at this time I'd asked for Jinx material. I know I'd asked yesterday and understood I had everything, but I don't believe I have that narrative he's looking at. I'd like to have copies of his notes and narrative, which may help me narrow my questions.
It's a safe understanding, everything's been turned over on multiple occasions. In fact, at the end of June, there was a whole nother run. So TBI left information that brought to Nashville, copied and made available to the.
And that is what I have, Your Honor, and I don't believe I have a narrative from the Britt House. I know I would have read it and studied it and had it right here.
I think there's
I
absolutely
can help.
no objection on the part of the state for her to look at whatever she wants to. We stand by the fact that we've turned over everything we've provided.
Okay,
She can look at it. He's
let's
got-
hand it to the bailiff, hand it to her, and you can examine it. If you haven't been able to find this, we'll run copies.
If it helps, that narrative is actually an extension of the original crime response from April 13th, 2011.
Okay.
So if you've got the narrative for my original response on April 13th, then the Brit portion of it starts on page 5.
I thought you said that you didn't used to do narratives from 2011 from a crime.
We wrote narratives and we turned them over to the investigators but about 1.5 years or 2 years ago, we actually started issuing reports that are accessible in our LIMS system. So it's actually a report. It's not just a Word document as it used to be, essentially.
Okay. Let me find what I have here. Okay, what I have that I thought was from you was simply, it's Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and then it's a brief crime scene description. It has a lot of a lot of drawings in here, and measurements of the home, and some notes from that day, like what time you arrived, what time you went into particular rooms, but I don't see anything at all in here from the Britt home. And I don't see any typed narrative in what I have. I have handwritten notes. Because it looks like you were there the next day also. And this is at the Bobo home.
That's right.
So I can just see those papers then, and maybe that'll help me. In the portion that you searched, but you aren't the person. So it says that you found one possible blonde hair in the portion that you searched, but you aren't the person that tested that blonde hair, are you?
Definitely not. I've got mention of it. Ultimately, what I have in my notes is that one of our agents, Mike Frizzell, was designated as an evidence custodian for that day in relation to that specific search warrant. And so I've got that all evidence was turned over to him. So I don't even have an evidence log from that day,
Okay.
which we would normally
Positive
complete
sex, babe.
as part of VCRT.
Wow. Just what a kerfuffle.
Yeah.
Did she just give up on that, looking at his narrative that he's got there that she says she doesn't have?
Yeah. I mean, basically, it's kind of like Kay Riggs is saying here. She said, I fully recognize the state buried her as a strategy, but that doesn't change how it looks to the jury. Makes her look like she's a fucking unorganized mess. You know?
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, I thought she said she did not have that report. Like, I mean, this is exactly why the judge should be instructing them to tell them ahead of time, you know, who they're going to be calling. And she has a right to get a copy of whatever it is he's looking at.
Yeah, for sure.
She's just, I guess, like she said, like afraid to push for anything. It's like she's just like a scared little, I don't know, what's the saying?
She's intimidated. They browbeat her to death during the course of the pretrial shit. So she's got no pushback at all. You know,
All right.
unlike, I think, where I think we're going to see a real battle between a judge and a lawyer. Aaron Spencer, man. You'll see after like this verbal war that they have going on got a lot more intense today with what was filed.
Wait,
what we're going to go
You
through
mean
tonight.
written war?
Yeah, written more, right?
All right, well, stand by, people, for that at 6 p.m.
Yep.
Is it 6 p.m. or what are we doing?
Yeah, I said it for 6. So if you're
Alright.
following that
Alright,
case,
let's
we're
go.
doing that. That's going to be Casanelli and that judge are going to be. It's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. I predict. All right, let's keep going.
Responses. And so
So he's the one that might have that evidence log.
And
He's
it's-
the one that would have done it.
I think so.
Okay.
And what I would expect is that the bag would probably contain more information on where it was collected.
That would contain what?
More information on where it was collected.
Okay.
It's
very
just kind of a
Alan, we're not going to get anything until like August, September, because they're going to get time. The state will get additional time. They already asked for additional time. And, then the court will take 60 to 90 days, at least, maybe longer. And then Zach is supposed to be 60, but the judge right then and there, right after the hearing, said 60 is not realistic. I want to need additional time to go through it. So hopefully late spring for Zach. I'm hoping we hear something.
And
typical.
do you remember collecting a photocopy of a yearbook with a young woman's picture on it, and somebody had highlighted her name and then rewritten and highlighted her name out to the side?
That does ring a bell.
I'll pass this back to you.
If you have a 10-minute witness.
I don't think our witness, I don't know how tall he is, but I don't think he'll be.
I said 10 minutes. I didn't say a short witness.
I didn't want to tell you short, but I think he'll be appropriate.
All right, let's call the next one.
Wow. Warren Rainey.
All right, so for whatever reason, they just cut that dude off. I don't know what happened. I did nothing. This is back when Law and Crime used to be called Law News Network. It's a good choice to change the name. Law News Network is pretty whack. But yeah, they apparently just edited out the rest of that guy's testimony. He wasn't saying shit anyway, so.
Well, she just asked him about. Now I'm dying to know what the hell was this picture in a yearbook and some writing.
I know.
Where's all? Well, maybe Kay Rig knows. Where's Katie and Dana when you need them?
I don't know. I sent the invites. Probably working. Oh, K Riggs.
Well, I can't see.
Hey Riggs, is that what
anything.
so that's just what happens with that witness? They just cut that guy off. He vanishes like a fart in the wind. Poof. Poof.
All right, you better read me out any good comments because I can't see any of the comments unless they go up, and I can't read anything because I'm driving.
I got you, babe. I got you. Katie's from the chat. I didn't see her.
Well, if you're there, tell me about this yearbook picture.
Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
So help me God.
Be seated, state your name, and spell first and last name to be for the court, please.
Warren Rainey, Warrenreiney.
And you just will tell them, I stole your ink pen 25, 30 years ago, but I did give it back, right?
No, sir, that is incorrect. He stole my ink pen and I did not get it back, but he bought me one.
Okay, okay.
That's the truth.
Some people never forget, I'll tell you. That goes back many, many, many moons ago.
A long time.
Where you work?
Tennessee Highway Patrol.
How long have you been doing that?
Well, I'm real
31 years.
friendly with this
31
here
years.
prosecutor, but you see how
Where
much
in,
I hate that there
Tennessee?
defense attorney.
I live in Carroll County in Huntington.
I want to ask you about April of 2011. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Did you take part at all in the search and investigation to try to find Holly Bobo?
For about 18 months.
Just you or other members of the Highway Patrol?
In the beginning, it was anywhere from 12 to 15 members. And in the end, it was just a couple of us.
When did y'all first get started?
The very day.
The day after.
Yes, sir.
Y'all out scrambling and running.
Yes,
After that, still scrambling and running.
every day.
At some point,
Oh, so sorry.
Did you
I
have
have to do
occasion-
your job every day.
to focus on one Zach Adams.
Yes. 2 occasions.
Did you have an occasion to visit his home?
Twice.
What brought you to his home?
Very soon after Holly was taken, I began asking people for anyone who lived north of Parsons, who'd been in trouble, drug user, sex offender, which I could look that up on the internet, which I did. And I would ask anyone, and one of the names that came up was Zach Adams.
I object to the hearsay coming in, even though he's not saying.
This is not being offered for the truth, it's to show why he did what he did, okay? And once again, the jury won't consider it.
So thanks, Judge. Hey, if you're gonna try my case for me, don't lose it. This judge is something else. So what I would consider that, I think I nailed that over under like the 10 minute mark before he shit all over her. Like he's
Well, I don't know if you,
convinced that she doesn't understand what hearsay is.
well, I don't know if you could hear me. I'm pretty sure that the chat could hear me, but you say you can't hear me when it's on. But like that whole little friendly thing he did with the, them like referring to some inside story, some like behind the
Yeah, the
scenes
pen.
shit.
The pen.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I reckon you guys can all tell how much I love this here prosecutor, but you see how much I hate that there defense attorney.
Wow, that's pretty good Southern accent there, babe.
No, it's a country accent.
Yeah, Southern country. Yeah, see, I put
Yeah,
old
but-
pals with the prosecutor on the scroll.
Oh.
Yeah. Love
Yeah,
you.
no, Southerners apparently don't like that. They want that.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Anyway, for the truth, it's just explain the officer's action.
And why more with Parsons?
I had mapped where Holly's cell phone had went, what direction. I knew where the evidence was collected. And when I drove those routes from their house on Swan Johnson to get to this area on Yellow Springs Road,
Where's Yellow Springs Road?
it runs right beside the interstate, right beside I-40.
Is that in Holiday, Tennessee?
Yes.
Okay. We drove those routes.
And went to the last area in that area where a credit card receipt that she had signed was found in a man's yard. So in my mind, this someone knew exactly where they were going. They knew these roads because I've worked in and out of this area for 25 years. And I don't know that I could drive through there today without having them out.
You were looking not for a tourist, but for somebody to do these roads.
They had to know it.
Someone in the area of Yellow Springs and Holiday,
Yes, sir.
an area that you have been in years and years and years.
Yes.
So what men did you go to? What men near Holiday did you go to?
Sometime around the second Saturday, I had been speaking with FBI and the TBI, and I decided that I was going to go to Zach's house, see if I could find him at home.
And you said second Saturday after what?
Second Saturday after the abduction.
Which was on Wednesday.
Yes.
So this would be about a week and a half after the abduction. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Best of my memory, it was.
To your knowledge, was Zach Adams a local?
Yes. My troopers knew of him well.
To your knowledge, does Zach Adams live near Yellow Springs Road,
Not very far.
north of Parsons,
Yes.
near Holiday, Tennessee?
Yes.
Well, why'd you go talk to him?
His name kept coming up.
What was your purpose in talking to him?
Matter of fact, just knock on his door and see if he knew anything about this.
So is that what you did?
Yes.
Tell us what happened.
Knocked on his door. I took a trooper with me. It was fairly early in the morning, not real early. The door opened up, and Zach came to the door, opened it up. He looked like he had just woke up, just got out of bed, had on a pair of blue jeans, some kind of shoes, no shirt. Asked him to step outside, asked him what his full name was. He said, Zachary Rye Adams. What's this about? And I said, well, just let me ask you a few questions. And I said, do you own a cell phone? He said he did. And I said, well, give me the phone number so I can put it on here. And he said, no, my girlfriend's already gave that to him. And I said, what gave what to who? He said, gave my number to other agencies. And I said, well, just give me your number so that I can have it in case I want to talk to you. And what's your address? And he said, wait a minute, I need to get a shirt. So he starts into the house to get a shirt. I'll go in right behind him. We take about 3-4 steps. And he stops and turns around and he says, what are you doing? And I said, well, we're coming in here to get a shirt. I'm not going to let you walk in here by yourself. And there was a shirt laying on a pool table, I believe it was. And he got it out and he wanted me out of the house. So we went outside and he put it on. And he kept telling me that he didn't have anything to do with it, that his girlfriend had turned him in. And I could tell he was just visibly shaking. He was scared.
Why did you come to the conclusion that he was scared?
No, he was shaking.
Shaking so much that you noticed it?
Oh, yes,
A lot or a little bit?
a lot.
What
How long
time
that?
of year was it? He had no shirt on and he was outside.
It was pretty short. I went over to talk to his grandfather because I knew from looking on the internet but I wanted to know where their property line was in the back of the house. His grandfather, very nice man, was very helpful. And then we left.
Okay. And did you leave and just forget about it?
Nope.
Tell me what you left and did.
When I drove down to the end of the driveway, I was doing more driving, looking out my left rearview mirror than I was looking where I was going. They live on the road. Their driveway is very long. We was left from the grandfather's house, which is next door, and I saw Zach in my mirror and even keyed the radio up and told the trooper behind me, look out your mirror. Zach ran, I'm not talking, a little jog, a little sprint, wide open back to his house.
Ran wide open. What did you think about that?
Why does he need to get back to that house? Something's up.
You've been checking? Is that right?
Yeah.
And now run.
Yes, sir.
So what you did next?
I went and hid up the road.
You hit up the road.
I went up the road by the CB shop and hid. I wanted to watch. Told a trooper to go back down 641 toward Parsons and stop somewhere. I called, I'm going to say a command post, someone there, told them, you need to get someone up here because I'm very suspicious about Zach Adams.
Okay.
There's something here. And about that time, a pickup truck pulled out and headed toward Parsons
Pull that where?
out of their driveway.
Who was in that pickup?
Yeah, drugs. This fucking
Exactly.
cop. What a douche.
Oh, there's something suspicious.
Hey,
I
if
followed
this
him
chicken
back
guy,
into his
there's
house.
something going on with Jack Adams. Okay, go
And when he-
follow this motherfucker.
What the fuck, dude?
When he challenged me about why I was when he challenged me about why I was going in his
Dylan?
house, I'm not gonna let. What is happening?
I was like, you yelled at me, so I started it again.
All right, I'm done anyway.
I'm just kidding. Go. Jeez. Cranky pants. We're waiting. This is going to be like a standoff here.
All right, yeah, that was about to be. All right, so I was saying that, I don't fucking know, babe. Now you got me all flustered.
All right.
He had no right to go into the guy's house, and he had every right to tell him not to come in the house.
Yeah.
Even, and then he's like, I'm not letting you in your house.
What you doing in there, boy?
Son of a
What
bitch.
you trying to hide all the Holly Bobo murder tools you use, boy? What you doing?
Hey, we're going to have a hard time man on the streeting if we keep using these voices.
What do you mean? I can control
I'm
myself.
just saying. No, I know, but what if somebody's watching these lives? Really, like those assholes?
I'm sure it'll be fine. I have fucking, like, you're fucked. Like, my people live down there. Like, my Morgan side is all from Arkansas. I'm like,
Oh, okay. So you're
I
not
got
fucked.
Razorback
All right.
running through my blood somewhere.
Oh, okay.
My uncle lives half an hour away in Romance,
He
Arkansas.
relocated there, babe. It doesn't count.
Honey, I spent my entire youth down on my great grandmother's farm. I'm fine. You're fucked. you're like Marisa Tomei, like fucking rolling in down there, and my cousin Vinny. Oh yeah.
Dylan
All
Adams?
right.
Yes, sir. I did not know that at the time, but he left out there so reckless, so I had probable cause to stop him. So we had a trooper stop him before he got to Parsons.
So he took out driving past other place,
Oh, yes. And took back roads to get to Parsons.
and he was stopped later.
Yes.
All right, and what'd you do?
Just continue to watch the house. And at some point in this, I'm not sure it was that afternoon, but I described to the agents, and they could be TBI agents and FBI. But anyway, they came and talked to him. Someone did. I know Sheriff White was one of them, and someone in a suit, from what I could see in my binoculars, was with him.
Oh, this motherfucker had some peeping tomoculars. Just sitting there.
I got you, Zach Adams. I got you, motherfucker. I know what you up to, you son bitch. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
So you're head out with binoculars watching this place.
Oh, yes. So I assembled either that afternoon or the next morning. And I've been told it's the next morning. 3 K9 teams.
All right, you can't testify to what he's been told.
If I ask you for an exact date when what you're about to tell us happened, Well, what would you tell us?
I have absolutely no idea. I took reports, wrote reports, and I don't know what happened to him.
Was it close in time to when you had encountered him and he was nervous and he was running and
Yes.
Dylan took off driving?
Yes,
Within a day or 2 or 3 or weeks? Which one?
a day.
Okay, so within a day,
Yes,
either that day or the next day.
yes. I think it was the next night.
What happened the next day?
I assembled a search team at 3 K9 units with cadaver dogs and sent them, showed them where the property line was, and I sent them all behind the house. There's hundreds of acres of county property back there, and told them to go search.
How about you? What did you do?
I think I went back around while they were searching. I know I did, to the front of the house where I'd been parked.
Front of his house.
Zach's just down the road.
Okay. Did you, this next time when we got dogs and searchers in the woods behind,
Mhm.
did you encounter Zach at all?
No.
At this time?
No, I did not.
Okay. We're going to hear from one of the searchers.
Yes.
I'm not asking you to, you can't testify to things you didn't, do.
Right.
As a result of any of the searching, the information that was conveyed to you, did you take any other step? What did you do next?
I went back. I had to go back to the house, to his house.
Back to Zach's house?
Yes.
All right. What did you do at Zach's house the second time?
Told Zach and his grandfather that a searcher saw something behind the house.
All right, let's just leave.
I'm gonna object to the fact that he's talking about what he's learned from another
No,
person.
he can say what he said to Zach,
Well, not if he's saying somebody told me and then he starts to say what somebody
and the
told me.
jury will not consider that for the truth.
But it is for the truth. He's telling Zach something.
Well, he can give Zach's response then.
Zach's response?
I asked Zach
Fucking
and
judge,
Dick Adams
man.
for permission
Oh my
to
God.
look at an area behind Zach's house.
On the way to that area, did you notice anything that you thought was odd?
Absolutely.
What did you notice?
I went around the north side of the house, headed in the direction where this area was that I needed to look at. And I know
Yeah, poor man's Vin Diesel needs to get out from in front of the fucking witness. The fuck's up with this guy?
And he's going through all this, but he found nothing. So was he trying to find a burial?
I don't know.
But you didn't find one, buddy.
What the fuck is a searcher? Is that like a cop? What is
I
a
don't know.
searcher? Well, what
He
is a
searches for
searcher?
shit. He
What is a
searches for
searcher?
shit. He searches for shit.
It's crazy.
I got a fucking searcher out there. Hey, get your grandson out here. We got a searcher out in their backyard. He just fucking went back there and found some shit. We gonna have a talk, boys. You gonna have to
Pa
sit
told me
down.
to shoot. Pa told me to shoot men from the bank.
You men from the bank?
noticed a mattress leaning up against the house
Oh,
on the northeast,
oh my
House.
God.
headed in the direction where this area was that I needed to look at. And I noticed a mattress leaning up against the house
Oh my
on the
God.
northeast corner.
Okay, why'd you find that odd?
It looked like a decent mattress to me. I could describe it. I just don't know why. If you would put, why would you would lean a mattress upside the house like that and leave it?
So it didn't look like an old mattress.
No.
It looked like a decent.
Yes.
Wow.
Look, his tone. It's like he's
Lean up
saying
against-
something so,
The house that Zach lived in?
so
Yes.
incriminating, so shocking.
Did you ask him about it?
No, I didn't.
What'd you do next?
I walked down the hill behind his house, turned the corner, and this is right on the edge of the county property. I noticed that someone had cut a tree up high and had felled it, and it was over a dirt area about half the size of that table. I'm going to say 6 foot by 8 foot spot that was bare dirt with no grass.
Had somebody been afraid or something this was a grave or something?
Yes.
Did you check it out?
Oh, yes.
Did you dig?
Yes.
I'm gonna object to that leading question about the grave.
Well, to establish that it wasn't. I mean, it didn't be fair.
He can continue.
To
Yes.
establish that it was not.
Yes. I needed a shovel, and I asked Zach, and he went and got me one.
And you dug.
Yes. I knew that it was no grave. It's roots on top of the ground. There was no way.
You saw a mattress. You dug. It's not a grave. So do you just leave and forget about it?
I spoke with him and his grandfather briefly. Then I left and called a TDI agent.
Did you tell him what you saw?
Absolutely.
Tell him how wrong you
Did you still
were.
have people?
Is that why
in
he's
the woods?
calling?
Yes. All but one. One had to come out.
You still have one person in the woods.
No. I
And
had
everybody in
6,
the
8, 10 in the woods. One had to come out.
Still watching.
Yes.
We'll take lunch as soon as we finish our presentation.
What the fuck? So they called this guy just to say a bunch of shit that he thought was suspicious.
Where's a fucking mattress against the house? Clearly the rape mattress.
And
You
I
know,
thought there
something
was
that
a
could have been a
grave,
grave. I mean, what the fuck?
but it wasn't a grave.
Yeah.
I thought there was a grave that wasn't a grave, and she didn't ask any questions?
I don't know if she's preparing. She better ask some questions or my fucking head's gonna explode.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Rainey, did you know Mr. Adams before Holly Bobo disappeared?
No.
So you basically went around town asking who's a bad guy,
Yes.
and somebody, based on what they said, you decided you were going to focus on Zach Adams.
Yes, because his name had come up several times.
Okay. So were you aware that he was involved in methamphetamine?
I'd been told that.
Okay. So you show up to his house on, what day of the week was it?
I do honestly believe it was a Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, you show up at his house, and this person who's involved in meth looks like he's been asleep that morning, right?
No, most definitely.
And I see today you're wearing a highway, is that the Highway Patrol, Tennessee Highway Patrol uniform?
One of them. Yes.
And when you showed up at his house, would you have had a Tennessee Highway Patrol uniform on?
Yes, as a utility.
What do you mean as a utility?
It's a lot cheaper uniform than this one because we've been doing a lot of searching and it tears them up.
Okay, so you had your
BDUs.
outdoor uniform on. Maybe
Yes.
is what you caught. Okay, but it still would have clearly indicated you were law enforcement.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And you knock on his door, cold call.
Yes.
He opens the door. He looks to you like he's sleepy.
Mhm.
And he doesn't have a shirt on, just has on some pants.
Correct.
And you say, first thing you notice about him is he's looking nervous.
Oh, yes. His eyes came away. He was not asleep anymore.
He opens the door and here's the police standing there, and his eyes are big, you said.
Yes.
Okay. And you said at some point as he's talking to you, he begins to shake.
Immediately.
Immediately. Police are at his door, and he opens the door. You've got on a uniform. Do you have a gun when you are in your uniform?
All the time.
So you have a gun strapped to your waist,
Mhm.
and
Yes,
he
ma'am.
begins to shake.
Yes, ma'am.
And so next thing you're asking him for is, and you don't have notes of your activity that day with you, do you?
I turned them in.
So the next thing that you ask him is you say, well, you want his telephone number.
I think something to that effect. His full name, his address, his cell phone number.
And he begins to get nervous when you ask for his telephone number. Is that right?
He was nervous when he opened the door.
He begins to object to giving you his telephone number.
Yes, he did.
And he says that it's already been provided to law enforcement.
He said his girlfriend had turned it in.
Okay. Now, when you were there that day, had you been specifically told to go talk to Zach Adams?
Absolutely not.
So this is kind of what you're doing as a searcher, an assistant. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And I mean, you're doing this out of the goodness of your heart because you're wanting to help find this missing person. Is that right?
I'd have done anything to found her.
Okay. And so you say you want his cell phone number.
Mhm.
And he does not provide it to you at that point. Is that right?
Not at the beginning.
Okay. And he eventually provides it to you?
Yes.
He says, well, wait a minute, I need to go get a shirt.
Mhm.
Okay. And so he turns around and he starts to walk back to get a shirt on.
Right. Correct.
And you, without invitation, step into his house.
Absolutely.
And you recognize you have absolutely no legal right to be in his house.
I wasn't going to go all the way through his house, but I was not going to let a man that I did not know step in a house and obtain a firearm and shoot me.
Okay.
Wow.
But that's a position you put yourself in.
Absolutely.
And so you took it upon yourself to step on into his house.
Yes.
Now, if somebody wearing a gun showed up at your house and began to walk into your house, you personally might, let's say they're not wearing a uniform, they just are standing there with a gun on. You might find it offensive for someone with a gun on to step into your house without invitation.
It would probably cause me some concern.
Yes. So he turns around and says, wait, what are you doing?
Yes, ma'am.
And for all you know, no telling what he had in his house, right?
I have no idea.
So you're certainly trying to imply here today that your suspicion is he had something to do with Holly in his house.
When I went in the house, it had nothing to do with Holly in his house. It had to
No.
do with him obtaining a weapon.
You're implying to the jury here today that the reason he was so nervous was there's probably some kind of Holly evidence in his house. Is that what you're trying to suggest?
No, ma'am.
No.
Oh,
I
please.
stepped indoor.
I'm not talking about why you went in the house. You went in the house to make sure he wasn't getting a gun to shoot you.
True.
But what you're saying is the reason he was so nervous, the reason he didn't want you in the house. You suspect the reason he didn't want you in the house was because there could have been, or you suspect there was, either Holly's body in the house, Holly alive in the house, or some kind of evidence about Holly in the house.
Any of the above.
But that's your suspicion.
Yes.
Okay. And that's what you're clearly trying to indicate to the jury here today.
Yes.
Okay. But you would agree with me, it is just as likely that he could have had all kinds of drugs in the house, and that might be why he would be nervous.
Absolutely.
Because after all, you've already heard that he was involved in methamphetamine and other drugs.
Oh, yes, I know that for a fact.
Okay. So besides the fact that he might have been nervous about having Holly in the house, he could have had marijuana plants growing in the house.
He probably could have, but I know where they were.
Okay.
Hundreds of them.
What?
I know where hundreds were right behind his house.
Okay. So right behind his house, is it close to this cleared plot of suspicious land you saw out there?
Looks like the county property was used to grow marijuana.
Okay. So he has hundreds of marijuana plants growing right behind his house.
Yes.
Let's kind of move on.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're not to draw any inference whatsoever concerning the defendant's guilt or anything on this case based upon the fact that they might or might not have been marijuana plants on the property. That's not an issue before us. That's why I would please just leave it on.
He's like, that lawyer just put in that her client is a
And then you say that there's this
thrower.
mattress that's outside that you thought looked like a perfectly good mattress.
Yes.
Now, it's very possible that that mattress might have belonged to his girlfriend.
I have no idea who it belonged to.
Okay. And did you know at the time he had been living with the girlfriend on and off?
I have no idea.
Okay. So it's possible that that mattress might have been on its way to be moved out of the house.
I find that highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely that it's on its way to be moved back to a girlfriend's house.
Highly unlikely.
Why do you find that unlikely?
The mattress was leaned up against the house on the northeast corner. The carport is on the south side of the house.
Okay.
The front door is on the west side of the house.
Right.
This was near nothing.
But the master bedroom is off the back and it has a deck back there.
Ma'am, I don't know. But it was at the far north corner of the house.
But the far north corner of the house would be where the deck and the master bedroom are.
If it was going to be moved, why not leave it on the deck?
Would you agree with me that people that use drugs don't always make the best decisions?
Oh, I know thousands of them that hadn't.
That haven't made the best decisions?
Correct.
Okay. But you would agree with me that, so you're also indicating here that you think that mattress was outside the house because it might have had.
What did the judge do? Just tell me. Janet, just tell me. Put it in chat. Was he watching football on his iPad?
Had some kind of evidence about Holly Bobo on it. Some kind of Holly Bobo evidence related to the mattress?
When I saw the mattress, it gave me the gut feeling of something is not right.
Okay. And so you're thinking that somebody that has evidence to hide might hide that evidence outside?
Could.
Okay.
Yes.
If I can have just one more moment. Dylan Adams' truck was stopped. You're aware of what came from that, aren't you?
Yes.
It turned out that there was no evidence related to the disappearance of Holly Bobo and Dylan Adams' truck.
Not that I know of.
And were there any drugs in that truck when it was stopped?
I don't know, ma'am.
If there had been giant drug busts related to that, you would have heard about it.
Yes.
That's all yours.
Any other questions? All right. Take a lunch recess. We'll take 1 hour to bring lunch in for you. So we'll confine it to an hour. Council, are you ready to go at 1:20? Make a general inquiry without making any promises at this time. Do we have any Hardin County Tiger football fans? Get to place with it. Now, what CB will be your sense of precaution to make sure there's not some flashes across the screen. There'll be a guard there controlling. If they flash something while they're doing action, which I wouldn't suspect because we won't be in trial, avert your eyes and we'll take care of it. Okay? We're going to try to accommodate those things. All right? All right, let's rather do that than nothing about out. Saves a little time. We're actually starting about 10 minutes late, but a lot of times that happens. We're actually, the pace is moving along pretty good. I'm time compulsive, as you folks know, and so far I'm fine with our pace. Okay, I want both sides to have adequate opportunity to explore their theories of the case. I'm not going to try to cut them off, but I probably don't need to play poker from up here. They can probably read me pretty well as long as I've been doing it. So I think they'll keep moving pretty good. Okay. Call your next witness for the state.
Brian Young. Brian Young.
That's his Superman curl.
Go ahead and face me, raise your right hand, please. It's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so you got. Be seated. I want you to state your name for the record and spell first and last.
Stephen Brian Young, STEPHEN, Young, YOUNG.
As you probably figured out when you leaned up against that mic, it's hot, so you can talk into it and it should amplify you, okay?
Can you give me Mr. Young?
Yes.
Tell us, what do you do for a living?
Commercial fisherman / restaurant owner.
You commercial fisherman, and you also got a restaurant, didn't you?
Yes.
Where's your restaurant at?
Little Josh's in Parson, Tennessee.
In Parsons. Do you remember back in April of 2011?
Yes.
Did you take any part in the searches for Holly Bobo?
Yes.
And why did you take part in the searches for Holly Bobo?
I knew the Bobo family some, and I also knew Drew, which was Holly's boyfriend at the same time.
Did you ever had any military experience or anything like that?
Yes.
What's that?
Army National Guard.
Were you ever called upon by law enforcement in this case to help them search, to go to certain places?
Yes.
Do you know Warren Rainey with the Highway Patrol?
Yes.
I want to ask you, did he have you on one occasion go in the woods behind Zach Adams' house?
Yes.
Tell me what you saw that day.
That day when we first got there, Warren just got through talking to Zach.
All right, so Warren had gone to the house,
Yes.
and where were you when Warren was at the house?
We was on the outside perimeter. It was actually 6 of us.
6 of y'all?
Yes.
And were y'all in the woods or standing on the street?
We were standing in the woods,
Standing in the woods.
or kneeled in the woods, actually.
Kneel down in the woods? Could you, is it fair to say hiding?
Yes.
Did y'all have binoculars or anything?
Yes.
Did you see Mr. Rainey talk to Zach?
No. He was on the opposite side of the house.
What was the view that you had through the woods at that time?
Well, we couldn't see Zach at all at that time. We were just supposed to be covering the outside perimeter of the house.
Okay. Is that the back of the house or the side
The back
of
of
the
the
house?
house.
The back of the house. At some point, were you notified that Warren Rainey had left the house?
Yes.
How was that done?
Warren had called us.
Warren called y'all?
Yes.
What happened next?
Actually, what we were supposed to have done is seen the movements of Zach, watch the movements of Zach after Warren had left.
All right. So y'all were there because you wanted to see what Zach did after Warren left.
Yes.
What did Zach do after Warren left?
He come outside, went to the garage, got a vacuum out, and started vacuuming up the black pickup.
Started vacuuming the car?
Pickup.
Pickup. Started vacuuming out a black pickup.
Yes.
And where was that black pickup?
It was in a shed, in a green shed down behind the house.
And was he doing that slowly, fastly, or how would you describe it?
Slowly,
Where did you get the vacuum from? Could you tell?
I couldn't tell.
How long did you vacuum that truck out for?
Approximately probably an hour and a half.
An hour and a half. And the whole time y'all were kneeled down in the woods.
Some of us was kneeled down, some of us was still actually just combing through the back of the, there's a big thicket, probably 20 to 30 acre thicket. And some of us are still in the movement back there trying to find it.
There was a thicket to contend with too.
Yes.
After Zach got done vacuuming the car, the pickup out for an hour and a half, what happened next?
I found a pair of surgical gloves and a water bottle
Is that just some stuff you found in the woods?
northeast, probably northeast of the house, the back of the house.
Let me ask you, did you ever see a mattress at the house?
There was 2 mattresses leaned up against the back of the house. Yes.
Two mattresses leaned up against the back of the house?
Yes.
Did you ever see Zach do anything with regard to those mattresses?
I didn't, but my partner did.
And was this at the same time? Is this before or after the vacuuming of the car?
It was after the fact.
After the vacuuming of the car?
Yes.
So you saw the vacuuming of the car, and then your partner saw whatever he saw afterwards.
Right.
With regard to the mattresses.
Right.
You found some stuff in the woods?
I found a pair of surgical gloves and a water bottle.
Did you turn those in?
Yes, I had to meet Mr. Rainey at Teasers off of, I was trying to think of the name of the road,
This area here, there's the interstate, is that right?
Sugar Tree Road.
Okay. There's the interstate, not far, is that correct?
Right.
There is a, you just said the name of the Teasers. What kind of place is that?
It's actually a strip bar.
Strip club.
Right.
Close to Teasers. Close to Teasers, there's woods, is that right?
True.
You go through those woods, you can eventually get to what?
Back to Zach's house.
To Zach's house. So all this is close together.
Woodbury, yes.
And is this close to Holiday, Tennessee?
Yes.
And close to the interstate?
Yes.
Did you ever see the dirt or whatever that had been disturbed behind the house?
Yes.
Okay. And did y'all report that to Rainey?
Yes.
Were you there when Rainey checked it?
Yes.
And you acknowledge it wasn't any sort of grade or anything like that?
I can't say that. I don't know.
Did you see Rainey find anything there?
Rainey wasn't actually with us. Rainey was at the Teasers.
Later on?
Later on, he come off of Duck Farm Road and met us on Duck Farm Road. There was actually two dog teams with us.
I thought you said they were asking. I just want to make sure I can hear say.
He just said there were 2 dog teams with him.
Okay, got it.
Other than the hour and a half vacuuming and whatever your partner saw, is that basically what you observed Zach Adams do that day?
Yeah, supposedly what it was, my partner had seen him.
I can't say which partner. It's
I'm just
all for
saying,
her,
right.
okay?
Why I was going to give the gloves is what I'm
All
saying.
this happened when Rainey left.
Right.
That's all.
Dr. Cross?
Now, these things, you're calling surgical gloves, you're just talking about latex gloves, aren't you?
Yes.
White latex gloves,
Blue.
blue latex gloves, and you're aware that they sell those at Home Depot.
Yes.
People use them a lot if they're going to do something like paint,
Yes.
and you might use them if you're going to change the oil in your car.
True.
Um, no further questions.
Done?
No further questions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Young. You may be excused, or you can join us in the courtroom if you'd like. Or you can get out of here and get back on the river, okay?
A useless witness.
Matt Ross.
Useless.
Back to read him, he can't wait to get out of here. It's not everybody's idea of fun to come into the courtroom, but we just put it that way. Basically, raise your right hand, please. Solemnly swear the testimony that you give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Be seated, state your name, spell your first and last.
It's Matthew Ross, Matthew-Ross.
Thank you. You can proceed.
Mr. Ross, what do you do for a living?
I'm a special agent with the FBI,
And how long have you been doing that?
over 15 years,
Where are you stationed at?
at our Memphis headquarters city location.
Well, we're here talking about something that happened pretty far away from Memphis.
Okay.
In April 2011, were you involved in the investigation in the search for Holly Bobo?
Yes, I was.
And how is it that you became involved in it?
About a week after she had gone missing, in both the TBI and FBI had opened cases, our office in Memphis asked for volunteers to go to our Jackson resident agency or to Decatur County to help with the investigation.
And did you know this area at all or know that area at all?
I was somewhat familiar with Decatur County. Prior to being an FBI agent, I was a special agent with the Tennessee Alcohol Beverage Commission. So every summer we would spend, a week or half a week in Decatur County doing marijuana eradication.
I hope you don't know where Teasers is. Man.
I've heard of it.
On April the
It
23rd,
used to have a worse name.
I think it was Bill Dundee's at some point.
It was, Bill Dundee's.
April 23rd.
And before you get the wrong idea, I just pass it on the highway. Going to other courthouses that I serve, okay?
April 23rd, 2011. Did you have occasion to speak with anybody involved in this Holly Bobo investigation?
Fucking moron.
What were you tasked with? What job did you do?
Well, when I got there, we were basically, myself and several other agents and task force officers were told to just stand by to help out, possibly cover leads that had been generated from the case agents that were working the case. I guess that had been 7 or 10 days after she had gone missing. And so we were just waiting around, and at one point, someone came up to me and gave me an assignment and said, hey, we need you to go talk to this person or that person.
Who was the person that you were supposed to talk to?
The first assignment I was given was to go talk to an individual by the name of Zach Adams.
Did you know Zach Adams at all?
No, never heard of him, didn't know.
Would it be fair to say you had limited information at that time that you were going to talk to him?
Yes, that is correct.
All right, tell us what happened. Did you go talk to him?
I did.
Tell us what happened when you went to him.
Myself, one of our task force officers from Memphis, she was a Shelby County Sheriff's Deputy, Annette Cotton. I believe the sheriff of Decatur County and a lieutenant from the Highway Patrol, I don't recall his name.
I think we just met him.
Okay, it might be him. I don't remember. It's been a while. We traveled to Zach Adams' residence, met him there, and just asked him what he knew about Holly Bobo, if he knew anybody that knew her, if he knew anything about her disappearance, and where was he during the time she went missing.
Did you notice anything about Zach Adams when you were visiting?
Yes, as we talked to him, I noticed that he had some pretty visible scratches on his arms and knees, I think, or leg area.
And apart from noticing that, did you document it sort of any other way?
I took photographs. I asked him if I could take photographs of him and the scratches, and he said yes, I did.
Let me pass you a series of 4 photographs. May I first just, just look through them and tell me if you're familiar with what picture you're for.
Yeah, familiar with these.
What are they?
These are the pictures that I took that day.
The pictures you took that day?
Yes.
Of Zach Adams?
Yes, they are.
Can you see the scratches?
Yes, I can.
If I would introduce those as next number exhibits.
We start with 57. So it'll be 57, 58, 59, and 60. You may.
It's gonna be on the screen behind you. Is that Zach Adams that day?
Yes, it was.
It's over at his house, all right?
That's correct.
That was exhibit 6. This is exhibit 57. What can I see here?
There's pretty visible scratches on the inside of his arm right there. There's a big scab or scar up at the top.
You say it's linear scratches?
Yes. Those two.
Are these the scratches that you noticed?
Yes, they are.
This is exhibit 58. Which is actually a better picture to see in person, but is this another angle of these linear scratches?
Yes, it's a little bit far away. You can see how long they go down his arm.
And this would be his left arm, is that correct?
That's correct.
Maybe this will show up a little bit better now. It shows up a little bit worse. In person, you can see it better. Is that right, Agent?
That's correct.
But on this overhead, linear scratches
That's right.
down this left arm.
Yes, that's correct.
It looks like you also took a picture of his legs. Is that right?
Are those fucking pictures for real? I mean, I realize we're watching on an old stream here, but what the fuck? I mean, I could kind of see what was up in the first picture, but those last two, what?
And is this like the day after he ran off into the woods? What was the day difference here?
I mean, they had already talked to him.
He had no shirt on. Whatever day that guy went.
Guy shoots up morphine, man. It's like the thing with the puncture wound. The guy, it's clearly like tracks. It's frustrating. Good God. My point is that multiple cops had spoken to him already before fucking Elmer Fudd went over there. And
That's
before
what I'm
this
trying
guy.
to confirm, including the guy with that he had no shirt on.
DB says he ran off in the woods on 04 and Holly was kidnapped on 04 on 4/13.
But what day was the guy there with when he had no shirt on?
I thought that the guy Elmer Fudd was there. He said Saturday. So I don't know if that's the Saturday after. DB, when did the deputy sheriff or the trooper, when did he go over to Zach's house? That Saturday. Was that the Saturday after the, because he didn't give a date. I thought he just said the Saturday after the abduction.
Well, if that was the case, then she missed the opportunity to clarify with him that he saw no scratches or injuries to him while he had his shirt off.
Well, I mean, it's significant. I mean, I don't think either way, those don't have a fucking thing to do with Holly Bobo. But in terms of the way that it appears to the jury, Jennifer has to clear it up if she can. On cross. All right, let's keep going.
Yes, I did.
And I don't see much here. Did you notice anything on his legs?
So you can kind of see some bruising right under the knee, and scratches a little bit on the top of the knee.
Okay. But here I don't see any of the long linear scratches around those arms. Is that right?
That's correct.
Did you ask him about these scratches?
Yes, I did.
And did he tell you how he got these scratches?
He did tell me.
What did he tell you?
He told me that he had gotten the scratches after he'd been arrested by the police somewhere, I think it was Henderson County or one of the nearby counties, and that he had run through the woods trying to escape, and it got cut up by a bunch of briars.
Okay. All cut up like briars or whatever.
That's correct.
While he was running from, what did you say?
He said the police.
No further questions. Ms. Hunter needs a minute. I'm going to pass these pictures around anyway.
I was going to use pictures, so we're just going to, it just doesn't show up.
Wait, we'll publish them at the end of cross-examination.
And then try to stand over here where I can run the machine. Now, what kind of camera do you remember you used to make these pictures?
I believe it was my BlackBerry cell phone I used.
Focus better. then I can tell. Does that seem to be the best in focus to you, Mr. Ross?
Yes, that's a little bit better.
Okay. And you certainly seemed very happy that day when he was talking to you.
He did have a smile on his face, yes.
Yes. And the pictures you have here, they're just of one arm, isn't that right?
I believe so. I may have taken a picture of the other arm, but I don't recall seeing it in there.
Okay. And is that the front of his arm or the back of his arm?
That's the front inside part.
Okay.
I believe right there.
Would you agree with me? He's got a skinny little arm there.
Well, I'm kind of skinny, so he's a little bit bigger than me. So, I guess it's all relative, but sure.
Okay, let me see if I can zoom up on this stuff too. Now, of course, the picture itself is a little grainy. I mean, if you look at the actual picture itself, it's a little, I'd say digitized. It's got the little kind of square chunks of color in it. Would you agree with me about that?
Yes, this picture up here does, yes.
So it's not like it's taken with a 35 millimeter quality camera.
No, like I said, I took it with my cellular phone at the time.
But what we're looking at here, it seems like there's I kind of pointed out to you, this is like a little bit of a round,
Puncture.
round bump almost. Would you agree with me? With a
Yes.
scab in the middle?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and it looks like it's definitely been healing on the outside of the scab.
Yes, I would say that.
And then, and it just has a little bit of a scab left. The other ones, they're reddish pink lines, but they don't even have scabs left on them anymore, do they?
They don't appear to, no.
And this one actually shows it. Maybe this one shows it a little closer up. Does that one actually show it a little closer up?
Yes, a little bit.
So they're really more kind of like scars rather than fresh scratches. Is that right?
Well, they weren't old scars. They definitely would have happened recent weeks.
Pinky scars, pink colors.
Yes, they were pink colored scars.
And you also took a second. You visited more than just Zach Adams, didn't you?
Yes, I think you mean throughout the day.
Throughout the day.
Yeah, I maybe talked to 2 or 3 other people.
They were just kind of dividing up work, and everybody was getting a few people to go out and try to find.
That's correct.
And if you'll help me here, kind of figure out this Saturday, the April 23rd. That was a Saturday, wasn't it?
I think so.
If Wednesday was the 13th, then we're going to add some days there. If you do your math and use some fingers, which I did. It's unfair because I was able to do it while I was sitting over there. It's Saturday's the 23rd.
That sounds right. I believe so. I believe I remember it was a Saturday.
Okay, and you were there. So this would have been the second Saturday after she disappeared. Is that right?
That would be correct, yes.
We can turn the lights back on now. I'm finished. Hold on to these one first. And so, and you actually filled out, this is not even a formal report, but you just typed up some paragraphs about what you did and who you talked to.
Yes, I believe we filled out, at the time it's called a lead sheet or something to that effect.
A what?
It's called a lead sheet, I believe is what it's called. What we refer to it as.
Okay, but your report here isn't on lead sheet. It's not on a lead sheet like worksheet. It's a typed written report. Did you type this up?
No, I did not.
Okay. So you filled out a lead sheet somewhere.
Yeah, well, I filled out like the top of it, and I believe Officer Cotton filled out the bulk of it.
Okay.
And then I believe, I'd have to see it up close, but I believe those are her notes.
Okay.
Or type notes.
So, but it would be accurate to say that it started, your interview with him started about 9:25 in the morning.
That's right, I remember it being in the morning. That's correct.
Okay. And Mr. Adams even gave you a brief summary of what he said he had done that day.
Yes, he did.
He said that he'd gotten up about 10 or 10:30 in the morning
That sounds about right.
on April the 13th, 2011. He said that there was no one in the house to verify what he had done. Or what?
That's correct.
He said he and his brother Dylan had picked up a friend Shane and then had gone to the Shell station.
That's correct.
He gave you his telephone number.
Yes, he did.
There's a phone number and address. He even gave you a social security number, his driver's license number.
I don't exactly remember that, but I'm sure he did.
Okay. He disclosed to you that he had a girlfriend, Rebecca, or former girlfriend.
Yes, he did.
Okay. He gave you consent to search his house.
He did as long as he was with him.
Okay.
He put the caveat on there. I just throw it out.
Right? He just wanted to walk around
Right,
with you
right.
while you searched it, but he invited you, he allowed you to search his house.
He did. Yes.
And he even allowed you to search underneath his house on the crawl spaces.
Yes, he said we could look. We didn't actually crawl under there. We just opened the doors, took a look inside.
Matter of fact, you made a note that it didn't appear, let's see, it did not appear recently disturbed under the crawl spaces.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. So looking at that, you chose not to go down. Is that
Right on the outside of the there's some small doors that swing
Right.
under the crawl space. Didn't appear to be disturbed. We opened the doors, took a look inside, didn't see anything.
okay? And he voluntarily let you take pictures of his arms and legs. He wasn't under any kind of warrant regarding that. Is that
No,
right?
he consented to all that.
And you were there until 10:55 a.m.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
About an hour or so over there.
Yeah, so 9:25 to 10:55, an hour and 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I have to use fingers. 30 minutes. Does that sound fair?
That sounds right.
And at the same time, then you also spoke to his grandfather, Dick Adams, and his brother, Dylan Adams.
Yes.
And they allowed you to look around Dick Adams' house also.
I don't believe we looked in his house.
But you would have been invited to. I mean, they didn't prevent you from doing that.
I don't know that we asked.
Okay. And no further questions.
No questions, just publish these.
All right, well, step down here, please go. Thank you.
Thanks, Judge.
Right, you'll start those with the jury. They can pass those among themselves. Let's get your next witness while they're doing that.
Chris Hill.
All right, I'm about to get off. I'll see you guys at 6 p.m.
Love you.
Love you.
Testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Be seated. State your first and last name and spell them for the benefit of the court report.
It's Chris Hill, ChrisHill.
Okay, let's hold up just a minute. Let them finish passing the photos and then. Okay, direct examination.
Probably a lot longer while they were looking at pictures, and you're gonna have to sit for this. Where your name again,
Name is Chris Hill.
and where do you work?
Work at Natchez State Park.
I want to ask you about April the 4th of 2011. Okay.
Okay.
8 or 9 days before the 13th, which is the day that Holly Bobo disappeared. Okay. On April the 4th of 2011, did you have occasion to come in contact with Zach Adams?
Yes, I did.
Any whereabouts were you?
But it was a traffic stop on Highway 114 in the park.
Was it a routine traffic stop? I mean, did it go routinely?
It did not.
Okay. At some point, what did Mr. Adams do?
He fled on foot.
Was he pursued?
He was.
And was he arrested?
Yes, he was arrested.
Did you have occasion to observe him before he took off running?
Yes, I did.
And did you have occasion to observe him face to face, body to body, after he was arrested?
Yes.
I want to ask you, after that arrest, okay, on April the 4th, 2011, did he have any long linear scratches down his left arm?
No, sir.
They weren't there.
No, sir.
No further questions.
Okay, now on April the 4th, 2011, this whole incident began because there was a tree down, power lines down due to a tree in the state park. Isn't that right?
That is correct.
And you were actually there assisting some people with traffic and trying to direct them to get around the power lines, weren't you?
We were, yes, I was stopping traffic while I worked on trees.
Okay, and then suddenly this white car comes up, and do you remember specifically what happened next?
Remember the vehicle drove down the wrong side of the road, past the cars I had stopped at a little bit of high rate of speed, and got to three and turned around. I stopped the vehicle as it was coming back out then.
Okay, so what happens is this car, and let's be clear, do you remember what kind of car Mr. Adams was driving?
It was a pickup truck. Without my note, I don't remember 6 years ago the make or anything.
Did you review this before you came today?
It's been a week or so since I looked at it.
Okay, so if I told you you put down that it was a white Nissan pickup truck.
That-
You even specifically put down that the tag was 574CBJ.
Okay.
That would have been fairly accurate in your report, wouldn't you assume?
Yes.
I mean, you wouldn't have a habit of putting down a brand and a color pickup truck if it's if it wasn't something you had observed.
Right.
So this white pickup truck kind of comes up and sees you stopped on the side of the road, directing traffic, and he zips into the ongoing traffic lane, passes you, tries to speed on down, and then suddenly realizes he's blocked and can't get past the power lines. Is that what happened?
Well, he came around a whole line of cars. I was at the front of the line. There was probably half a dozen cars. He came around to get to where I was.
So clearly this person was driving erratically
Yes.
and sped by a police officer.
Yes.
And that's when he realized he had to turn around and come back is when you pulled him over.
Correct.
And at that point, then you found there was a camouflage bag on the floor of the car,
Yes.
and you picked up the camouflage bag to see what was in it.
Yes.
And by bag, it's just a little, is it a drawstring bag with materials in it?
It was like a fanny pack.
Okay, fanny pack.
Yes.
So you pick up this little fanny pack, and you're getting ready to open it to see what's in it. Mr. Adams rips it out of your hands and takes off running through the woods, doesn't he?
Yes.
Clearly, whatever was in that bag, he didn't want you to see it, did he?
Correct.
And as he's running through the woods, he's unzipping the bag and throwing things out of the bag.
Right.
And so you, at this point, are required to hightail it right after him and
Right.
try to catch him. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Did you know Mr. Adams before this?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you're chasing after him. You catch him, don't you? You
Yes,
catch
yes,
up to him.
yes.
You had to tackle him to get him to the ground, right?
I shoved him to make him go to the ground.
You shoved him to the ground. And then, I mean, it was a pretty physical arrest at that point, isn't it?
Well, then he went down fairly easy. He tried to scratch at my hand after I got him down for just a second or two before he calmed down.
He tried to scratch at you,
At my hands, yes.
like with his fingernails?
Yes.
Okay. And so at that point, and you're doing this in the woods, right? He's not running down the road.
Right.
It's through the woods.
Right.
Okay. And do you remember what color shirt he had on?
No, I do not remember.
Do you remember what, like long sleeve, short sleeve, what it looked like?
I do not remember.
Do you remember what kind of pants he had on?
No, ma'am.
And then at that point, you handcuffed him and you arrest him.
Correct.
And that white pickup truck that he was driving, that Nissan pickup truck, it got impounded, didn't it?
As I recall, the Henderson County Sheriff's Department was there as well, and I think they took an interest in the truck.
Okay. So he didn't get to drive that truck home that day.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, after you had physical, you kind of went full hands on with Mr. Adams, right? Pushing him to the ground. Did you fill out an incident report about the physical contact you had with him?
That was included in the incident report for the whole event.
So under your department regulations, you're not required to fill out a special physical contact report when you have full hands-on contact with a potential arrestee?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you didn't fill out anything other than just this arrest report and what happened right here, isn't that right?
That's correct.
Under what conditions are you required to fill out a full hands-on report?
If there was an injury or if we had to use some type of weapon.
Okay. And then that goes in your record too, doesn't it?
Yes.
So you would prefer not to have those filled out, wouldn't you?
It really would make no difference to me.
No? Yeah, 1 minute.
Talk about impounding the truck, right? Say something about that?
As I recall, the local sheriff's department talked about it, and it was released just a day or two later.
It was released just a day or two later.
That's as I recall it.
Your Honor, I object to him speculating. If he knows that's one thing, but if he's just speculating, I object to that testimony.
I asked him, are you just guessing, or is this something you checked on for?
Just going off my memory.
On your memory?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not just guessing.
Right.
Are y'all in the business of seizing cars as park rangers?
Our department does not typically seize cars. Usually we hand those cases over to the sheriff's department to take care of.
And the car's released.
Yes.
As a police officer, do you try to take note after you arrest somebody, especially if you've had to put your hands on them, as to their physical condition?
Absolutely.
Why do you do that?
Because don't want any chance of any kind of contamination between any kind of bodily fluids they might have and ourselves.
Okay, so you're looking for blood, whether or not blood's been transferred?
Exactly.
How about to ensure the person doesn't claim you did something that you didn't do?
Right.
I mean, do you try to protect yourself too?
Yes. Yes.
And so if you had seen bloody linear scratches, is that something you would have taken note of?
Absolutely.
But they weren't there?
Right.
Okay.
I asked you about this truck now. You said Henderson County Sheriff's Department is the one that came and impounded the truck. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember specifically who the registered owner of that truck was?
I don't remember the name. I believe it was Mr. Adams' grandfather.
Okay. And so how is it that you happen to remember that?
It's in my mind.
Okay. Was that something that you had discussed with the district attorney? Did the district attorney tell you that?
No, ma'am.
But you weren't involved because you're a park ranger. You wouldn't have been there when the truck was released.
Correct.
And actually, you don't even know where it was. Do you know where it was towed to?
So it'll be speculation.
Okay, so no further questions.
Done? All right, thank you, Mr. Hill, you're free to leave if you want. Oh, you're next.
Christee Clenney.
Last name.
Clenney.
Yeah. Jennifer's not handling the injuries or whatever the fuck they are. I mean, clearly to me, they look like drug tracks to me, you know, from shooting up. And because the inference is powerful, you know, it leaves the inference to the jury that, you know, he got these as a result of doing something horrible to Holly. And I don't know if she's rebutting it, because if you haven't watched this shit, if you don't know anything, if you're not listening to Trial and Error Pod, if you don't know what Autry's testimony is, like, he's a fucking problem in this case, at this trial, because they don't have anything. And that dude just comes in. He's got that story on lock. And, you know, I could see why the jury believed him in that situation. You know, and if you've got nothing else and your attorney's not putting up the resistance that you need in order to debunk this shit, it's fucking scary. It's scary. It's scary to think how easy it is to get convicted in this country. It's scary. I mean, you got to double think any fucking nick you get on your body. God forbid some shit goes down and they start asking you questions. You know, anything you say sounds fucking made up to them. I'm talking about the cops. You know, oh, where'd you get that nick on your hand there, buddy? Yeah, I don't even know, to be honest with you. It's like, I don't know. It's scary. It's scary stuff. It's scary stuff. Needs a new trial. Stat. I've seen a couple questions in the chat. The statute calls for 60 days for the judge. Judge addressed it right away. He's like, I'm going to need more time. There's a lot here. You know, so I'd say the earliest we're getting anything is 90 days. And I'm talking about on Zach Adams' case. I think it's probably going to be a little bit longer than that. As long as he comes back with the right decision, I'll give him all the grace in the world. If he's coming back on some bullshit, you know. Yeah, you'll see. You'll see when we get to Autry. You'll see what I'm talking about if you haven't seen it or heard it yet. It was their whole case. Their whole case. All right, let's go. We're going to watch one more, and then I'm going to take a break. And then we will be back at 6 for our Aaron Spencer live tonight.
Yes.
Be seated. State your name, first and last, and status, please, have been through the court reporter.
Christee Clenney, CHRISTEE, CL. Yes, sir. CLENNEY.
Sound a bit like using it. Christee with two E's?
Yes.
I'd written down A's.
It's happened a lot.
What do you do for a living, Ms. Clenney?
I'm a RTI and testing coordinator.
What does that mean?
Well, I've been in the school system teaching for 20 years now. I help with response intervention and the testing and data, and along with some other jobs.
What schools have you taught at?
Parson's Elementary School, and I was a learning house pre-K. I was a pre-K teacher for 10 years, and now I'm at Decatur.
April of 2011. Where were you living?
I was living on Microtown Road in Darden.
Microtown Road?
Yes, sir.
And it's in Darden?
Yes.
A few miles from Parsons?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the street Swan Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Does Microtown run into it?
Yes.
all the same little neighborhood?
Yes.
Are the roads big and wide, or are they small?
They're narrow.
Are the roads frequent traffic all the time, or not?
No, not really. Not all the time.
Something notable or strange happened to you one morning.
Yes.
All right, well, tell us what you were doing.
Okay, I've been recovering from neck surgery, so I was out of work for 6 weeks, and I've been walking every morning, somewhere between 7:30 and 8:30 every morning. And so, after a few weeks, one morning, I was walking, and I would always walk to Swan Johnson Road, and back.
Walking to everybody?
Yes, I would walk on Markletown Road to Swan Johnson Road, and I would stop there and go back to my house, and I would usually do that about 3 times because that was about 3 miles, and that was part of my rehabilitation for the neck is what he wanted me to do. And so one morning, I walked to Swan Johnson. I was on my way back, and I just heard a loud truck, and so I turned around, and there was one idling on Swan Johnson Road, and I heard it.
At this point, is that anything particularly strange?
Well, I mean, I wasn't alarmed at that moment. I mean, I just turned around. I mean, I heard it is when I turned around. And, you know, I like to get out of the road completely when cars are coming up and down. So I was just kind of looking backwards. And then it sat there for a few seconds. And that was kind of weird to me because I continued to hear it. And then
where was it at, like physically?
It was physically like at the very end of Swan Johnson Road where the stop sign was.
And do you know the Bobos? Do you know Karen and Dana Bobo at all?
Yes.
Do you know where they live?
Yes.
How far away from their house were they?
I mean, it's probably, I'm not sure, but it might be a half to 3/4 of a mile from that stop sign.
Less than a mile,
Yes.
half to 3/4.
Right. I never did continue. I never walked down that road all the way. I would just walk to the edge of it. But I know that they live just not very far down that road.
Okay, so your health walk, rehabilitation walk, was from your house up Markletown until it hit Swan Johnson.
Right.
And the Bobos live a little bit up Swan Johnson.
Yes.
All right. The car's idling there. It's a loud. What kind of truck did you say?
It was a white. I didn't register what kind. It was a full size white truck.
Pickup truck or like an SUV?
A pickup.
Pickup truck. Okay. What happened?
And so then it turned right. It was going really slow, and I just kept walking straight ahead, and then I heard it turn around. I knew where they turned around at. It's probably at Lots Road is what I was figuring, but I could hear it. It was loud enough that I still wasn't real alarmed, but I thought it was weird because it had idled by so slow, and I had a hoodie on, and then it came really slow back, and I just kind of kept my head straight and walking. And
At this point, were you alarmed at all?
I was a little bit thinking, what are they doing? Because I'm used to seeing the same vehicles at that time. People are going to work, or the same people that you usually see coming back. It's not, you don't see a whole lot of new vehicles, and people don't just kind of cruise around that early in the morning, especially somebody, a young man or something. So
You don't have tourists driving up and down Markletown Road
No.
in Swan Johnson, do you?
no, it's not. I have in place.
So this truck's coming back at you?
Right. And so then I am starting to, think this is kind of weird. But then when I heard it turn around again at Swan Johnson Road, I really did start thinking, okay, now what should I do?
You had heard this thing idling there at Markletown and Swan Johnson. You had heard it turn around at what you're guessing is Box Road.
I was guessing that's where you turn, because there's not many turnaround places in a row, and there's
And then
not.
you've heard it turn around again.
Yes.
How about now? You starting to wonder
Yes,
about
I was getting really alarmed, and I was even thinking about, would I go out to the woods? What would I do? I mean, I was actually thinking about what would I do if
You're
something
walking by
happens.
yourself?
Yes,
With a hoodie.
yes. I had a red hoodie on. I remember exactly what happened.
All right, what happened next?
And then he drove really slow, and he actually looked over and he was looking like out his window to talk to me, and he said, "Did I scare you?" And I was just like, "No, I'm good." And then he said, "Well, I didn't mean to scare you." And he said, "I thought you was a girl that I knew that lived around here." And he said her name, and then I was just like, "No, I don't know her, or I don't know." And then he kind of laughed. He's like, "Well, did I scare you?" And he said, "Well, I didn't mean to scare you." He kind of laughed or chuckled, and then he went on after that.
As a result of that, what did you do?
I texted my husband at the time and told him that something really weird just happened with a white truck.
Thanks.
And then he called me whenever he got a chance, and I told him the story of it. And I just said it wasn't your normal little, "Hey, I thought you were somebody else." And so he got me some mace that day to start taking. And my dad actually had brought me a gun he had, but then he also bought me one that he thought would be better to take.
Did you make it home safe that day?
Yes.
Were you aware that Holly Bobo was kidnapped in Swan Johnson, April 13th, 2011? Were you aware of that?
Yes.
Around 8 o'clock in the morning. Were you aware of that?
All right. I missed the date. What was the date of this? Anybody? I was going to bloop it back, but what was the date? Does anybody know? Let me know in chat.
Would you have been walking on a weekday or weekend?
I always did on the weekdays for sure, and I did a lot of the weekends also. But I would plan to walk after everybody left for school or was out the door, and I thought most of the traffic to school was gone. So
How long before was this compared to when Holly was taken?
it was days before. I don't know. I've said it's been anywhere between 7 to 10 or 12 days. It was within that time period.
So you're certain it wasn't the day before?
Oh, no, it wasn't. It was not.
It was a week?
I'm thinking it was past.
This woman should never, ever have been allowed to testify. She doesn't even know when the fuck it was. How's this relevant? Like, they're just letting them put bullshit on.
A week. I mean, I'm not positive on the exact days because really,
Come on.
I mean, I just didn't think about trying to remember what day it was. I mean, I just, I wish I would have.
So when did this strange incident, when did it sort of come to light afterwards?
Well, when I heard about that, and I had told my coworkers about the white truck also at the pre-K. I was working in pre-K. And they had mentioned, a couple of them was like, what about that white truck? And I'm like, yeah, I know, there could be a connection. And so, because we just heard about it that day, but still that was like, it had just come out, like she's missing. And I think a lot of people were still thinking, well, she's going to be found, really quick is what we were all praying for. And then when we got home, my husband and I, we had talked about it. And that morning there was a roadblock at the end of the road the next morning. And he had mentioned to the police officers or whoever was there at the end of the road about the white truck. And so they had, whenever I got up there, I told them about it also.
So after Holly was taken, a day, 2 days?
We talked about that day, but it was whatever day the roadblock was, which I'm not positive exactly.
After she was taken, there were roadblocks at various places.
Yes.
And so you got to this roadblock, and did you tell the policeman or whoever about this?
Yes.
What did he tell you to do?
He said they'd be contacting me.
So you gave him your information?
Yes.
Was your ex-husband now?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Was your husband with you then?
He was in the truck in front of me, so he wasn't with me when I gave that information. No.
Y'all were driving
separately, yes, because he was going to a different place on this different school.
Gotcha. Did the investigators get in contact with you?
Yes.
And what happened once they got in contact with you?
Well, that day, I'm almost positive it was that day, but I'm not 100% sure. They brought pictures to pre-K and asked me to come out and look at them. And I think it was the TBI that came.
Okay. And did you see the man from the truck in those pictures they brought to you?
No, I didn't.
Okay. What happened next?
And they said that they'd be contacting me about coming to the police station to look at more pictures that maybe out of the inmate lineups or whatever.
Did you go to the police station and look at different pictures?
Yes, and I had my husband at the time meet me there, and he went with me.
Okay, so you and your husband?
Yes.
Did y'all meet with police officers there?
Yes.
And you said you looked at different pictures. Did you recognize anybody?
No, I didn't know who anybody was.
You didn't know who anybody was?
Right.
Did you, were there any pictures that caught your attention? How about that?
Yes, I pointed to one that I thought looked like the guy that was in the truck.
Okay. And in fact, did you look through a series of pictures even after you thought that was the guy?
Yes.
And describe how you kept on coming back to that one picture.
Well, I was looking through it and I'm like, yeah, he looks like this. And then I said, I continued looking. There was other ones that had that kind of look or the same color hair. And I was going, yeah, these have that look too. But then I said, going back to the front, that one was the one that I thought looked mostly like him.
And who was that person?
Well, and I would have known it, but my husband was there with me and he said,
You can't say what her husband said.
okay.
At this point, maybe a fresh honor.
Let me fast forward past this shit. Why didn't they add?
Yes, sir.
Did you say your husband recognized the guy?
Yes, sir.
And he was there with you, saying, I see you?
Yes.
What's his name?
My husband's name? Timothy Clenney.
Timothy Clenney? That's what you're
So your husband is Tim Clenney, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay,
Well, my ex-husband, yes.
Sorry, yes. Now, you gave this report, the roadblock, if there's a report that says that this was on April the 19th, 2011, when you gave this information at a roadblock, does that seem right to you?
Ma'am, I have no idea, but I'm not sure exactly how many days.
5 or 6 days after Holly disappeared?
I'm not sure.
Within a week of the time she disappeared?
I would think so, but I just don't have any idea exactly how many days, what day that was on.
Okay, so your memory's kind of faded since then.
Yes.
Okay. And at the time, you said that the person was driving a full-size white pickup truck. Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay. At one point, you said it was a nicer model pickup truck. Do you remember
I
saying
don't
that?
remember. I don't remember exactly what all I said, to be honest with you on that. I don't remember what I said on that.
Do you remember now that it was a nicer full-size pickup truck?
I just remember it being a white full-size pickup truck, yes.
Okay. You remember saying that the man you saw weighed between 180 and 190 pounds?
I just don't remember.
Okay. You don't have a memory now of how much that person weighed, do you?
Now, I have a look of what they look like, but I don't remember a weight.
Right. But the look that you have now, what this person looked like, is after you've looked at lots and lots of photographs. Would you agree with me?
Are you talking about at the time
No,
or now?
the look you have in your memory now is after you have looked at photographs. clearly your memory now is after you've looked at photographs.
Yeah.
Yes, and you've thought about it a lot in your head. You just have a lot of thinking about it and what was trying to remember.
Yes.
Do you remember saying that it had happened 2 to 3 weeks before the day of the roadblock?
No, I don't remember exactly what I said on the time.
Okay. If it would have happened 2 weeks before the roadblock, and the roadblock, well, if it happened 2 weeks, you said, tell me again what you said earlier about how close in time it was to when Holly disappeared.
It was several days. I don't know exactly. I'm estimating, so this is not a fact, but I would think it would have been anywhere between a week to 2 week period of time. I mean, I have averaged it. It's like 10 or 12 days, but I didn't know for a fact.
Okay. But if the report said the 19th, that's probably right, because there would be no reason for them. You didn't report this more than once to the roadblock, right?
Correct.
So if there's a report that says it's on the 19th, is when you gave this information at the roadblock, that would most likely be correct.
I would think whatever. I mean, I'm not disputing.
Right. Okay. So you're not disputing that.
No.
Okay. And if at the time you said that this incident with the white pickup truck had occurred 2 to 3 weeks earlier, your memory then was certainly better than your memory is now.
I mean, I would think it would be too.
Right. So that was probably accurate information from you at the time, 2 to 3 weeks earlier.
I can't imagine me saying 3 weeks, but I don't. I can't imagine me saying 3 weeks earlier, because that would have been way past what I would think that it would have been.
Do you remember?
I don't ever remember saying 3 weeks, as a matter of
You
fact.
don't? Okay. Do you remember saying that the person was in their early to mid 20s?
Yes.
And do you remember saying light brown hair?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Brown hair. Yes.
Well, do you remember saying light brown hair?
I don't remember saying, like, specifying light brown hair, but I remember saying that there was brown hair. Yes.
Okay. Do you know Lori Kennemore?
No.
No.
Don't.
No further questions.
Anything else, Mr. Williams? All right, you step down before you go.
EB, I take it Tim Clenney is next.
Have a seat. State your first and last name,
EY.
please. Have a seat. State your first and last name and spell it for the court report, please.
My name is Timothy Clenney, TIMOTHY,
What kind of job do you have?
Currently,
Yes, sir.
I am a independent insurance agent.
Back in 2011.
I was a school teacher.
What grade did you teach?
In 2011, I was teaching middle school, 7th or 8th, not sure exactly which one.
2011, were you married to Christee?
Yes,
Y'all were in the same school or different schools?
different schools.
Do you remember a morning when she called you and told you something strange happened?
Yes,
Is that something y'all talked about?
absolutely.
Do you remember her reporting that to law enforcement?
I remember roadblocks being set up along different roads to basically monitor people coming in and out. And we had talked about, should that be something that should be brought up to them? And we said, absolutely. So yeah, we kind of, in one of those times is when we talked.
After that, did you have occasion to go to a police station with her?
Yes,
Do you remember what station it was?
it was the Sheriff's Department of Decatur County.
Decatur County? And what happened once y'all got there?
We went through mugshots basically of current and past inmates and things of that nature. And we'd go through, and of course, having been a teacher for so long, I knew almost everybody in there. And when it came to that particular one,
That doesn't mean you're a bad teacher.
right. Law of averages. So when it came to that particular person, she pointed to him, and I was naming off several of them, and I said, what's the name of the individual? She said it was a Bill. She didn't say that is the person that I have seen, but she said that fits the description.
Was there a picture she kept on coming back to and back to?
Yes,
Who was that person?
it was Zach Adams.
Yeah, Your Honor, first I'd ask for Jinx here. I didn't even know this person was going to be a witness.
Anything?
We do not.
All right.
Well, I'm going to ask if they have notes. Surely they've interviewed him. If they have notes of that, there's some case law that says if there's no other materials, we can have notes.
We can approach those if you like.
Because they're still at the door and we're observing, not coming in except during.
Are you aware that, Mr. Clenney, I'm just trying to read through some papers here. Are you aware that your ex-wife had initially identified a person named Jonathan Martin as being the person that she saw driving the truck that day?
No,
Do you know Jonathan Martin?
I don't recognize that. No.
Okay. Are you aware that she initially said that the person who she saw was in his mid to early 20s?
I don't remember that part.
Are you aware that she said that the person she initially saw had light brown hair?
I don't remember that as well.
Are you aware that she initially said the person she saw weighed between 180 and 190 pounds?
I don't remember that.
And how many pictures did you look at that day?
Maybe in the 20s. I don't remember the exact number, but several.
And when she came back to that picture, she kept coming back to it, but initially she did not say that is the person. She said that looks like the person, didn't she?
She never said that is the person.
She said that looks like the person.
Right.
No further questions.
Anything else? All right.
Your Honor, at some point I'd like to recall Ms. Clenney. There's some additional questions I'd like to ask her, so I'd like for her to remain in her seat.
I've already discharged her. Maybe we can issue another subpoena.
I'll get it.
All right. I don't know how much contact you have, but you're not to discuss your testimony with your ex-wife. You understand that? Yes, sir. All right. He can step in. We're going to take a recess. Let's see if she's left. If she hadn't.
All right. It's fucking annoying. Good God. Ugh. I mean, is this seriously the kind of evidence they're convicting people of in this country? Some woman who sees somebody in a white truck at some point in time. And how many pictures did they show her in the book? You know, they flip to a page with Zach Adams on it. How convenient. Oh man, it's just this trial is gonna make me physically ill. I can tell. It's one of those. But we're gonna keep plugging through because we have to. It's the right thing to do. All right, you guys. I'm gonna go feed everybody in my house. Try to get that done in the next 50 minutes. We are live at 6 for Aaron Spencer. A couple things were filed today. One in the Arkansas Supreme Court. One to the judge telling her, "Hey, we don't want you anymore." And oddly enough, she gets to rule on it herself and conduct her own hearing if it gets a hearing. So it's interesting, but the motions and the brief and the petitioner have some interesting stuff in it, and I think some points that are well made. So it's worth our time before digging into it, and we'll talk about all the stuff. You know, is it potentially going to continue the trial? All that stuff. We'll get into it. So if you're here now, you don't have to do anything. I've portaled you all to the 6 o'clock live. Mods, thank you so much. Hopefully you'll make it back for the next live. I appreciate you always and forever. Mandy and Tracy in particular, thank you for all your hard work. Mandy got me all the docs this morning. I knew they were out. I knew they had been out, but I wasn't allowed to talk about them until they got filed proper, because they were filed on Friday, but they weren't put on the docket until today. So mom was the word until I knew that they were public. But oh, Mandy got the docs. Well, thank you, Mandy Joe. Appreciate that. That's fabulous. Today, I know is Mandy's son's birthday, so I'm not going to dox him, but happy birthday to your son, who we all love so much. Hope you guys are having a good time, hanging, celebrating him, doing all the fun stuff. All right, you guys, make sure that you like, share, subscribe. If you're on Replay Crew, please leave a comment. It really helps the channel grow, and it's all free. If you really love us, become a member. And I did get some love today here. We got big ol' $50 dono from Sarah Ritchie, upcoming trip supports post. Love it. Thank you very much. Each time I catch you guys live, I'm going to do it. Well, I hope you catch all the lives. That's because I really appreciate it. On a side note, how long do we have before the judge decides if Zach gets a new trial? I think I answered this. 90 days on the short end, 120 on the long end. I'm hoping they've got a statutory time of 60 days, but you know, I mean, if the judge if he's doing the work, I'm going to give him the grace, you know. But thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate that, Sarah. And then Sarah, thank you. Will the post-conviction judge watch his trial? I think they're more likely than not. He should. There's nothing that bars him from doing it. he's going to rely on the transcripts, but you really got to kind of see it. Problem is that you've got a lot of editing that was done. Like, for instance, today we had the one particular witness that was, his shit was cut off right in the middle of it. So he'll rely on the portions of the transcript that were supplied by counsel. You know, but if I were him, I'd take a peek at this thing, see what was what, to get the vibe, you know, especially as to Jennifer Thompson. You know, I mean, IAC is one of the claims here. So, you know, I mean, I think it would be helpful for him to see the demeanor of the judge, you know, how she performed, the questions that she asked. But like, that stuff will be in the transcript. I just think it helps to be able to view it as well. So thank you for the question, Sarah, as always, and for your modding. Tara Rayner, Red Room Trial and Yuck Yucks is up there. Yeah. It's certainly disrespectful. Can't imagine Kara Bobo likes, you know, strip club jokes during her daughter's murder trial. Probably not a fan of it, I'm guessing. Thank you so much for that, Tara. Chloe did it. I mean, it's more likely that Chloe did it than Zach Adams. I'll say that. Thank you once again. Bruising in a 2MP camera. Sure, Jan. Love it. Funny. Thank you again. And then we got Susan M. 8148, a new member. Family hugs. All right. Welcome to our new member. And I love all you guys, because without you, I'm just an old man talking about a case in about 50 minutes. I'll see you over there. Love you. Get some food, get a beverage, strap in. We're going to Spencer next. See you guys in a bit.